Good evening, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you south of the Canadian border. I say that because there's a couple of my Canadian friends in the chat room already. To you guys, happy Thursday.
Ordinary Thursday for
an ordinary
brothers
Thursday.
and sisters in the north.
Yes. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the NLG Show. And yes, it is Thanksgiving down here, and yes, we are on. Because you know what? If football could be on, gaming podcast could be on too. Plus, Brother Dread really wanted to come on, and I'm not gonna tell him no. So, how's everyone, gentlemen? How you guys doing tonight?
Stuffed.
Yeah.
Fighting the tryptophan.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stay awake.
I'm doing that, trying to stay awake on that coma.
Yeah, no kidding. So I cannot confirm nor deny that my pants are buttoned right now.
You get the stretchy pants. You don't have to worry about
That's
it.
right.
Exactly.
So last night I couldn't confirm or deny I was even wearing them. So
You might
You never know.
So and Pete is in here twice. OEB Pete. He is doubling up for us tonight. He started a new channel called MMO Stuffed. I did not. Every like week I learned something new about Pete. This week I learned he is into MMOs. I did not know that. So, Atari Creep said pants are lame. I could be on board with that. So,
I'm wearing kilts. So.
For all those wondering, that sous vide picture.
Yeah.
That turkey turned out really, really good. It was so juicy. As I was cutting it, it was just gushing juices all over the place. I kept on trying to clean up the juices as I was cutting. It was just unbelievable. And I mean, we were already full from a full turkey already. We had the the pumpkin pie, some cherry, raspberry pie. I mean, we're already done with all that, even dessert, already done. We're
See, this is why in my family we eat the pie in the morning. Because after the dinner, there's no room for pie. It's like
I almost brought down a piece. I was going to eat a piece during the podcast, and I'm like, you know what? I can't. I can't do it.
But yeah, man, that turkey was awesome. As stuffed as we were, we gobbled that thing up, and no pun intended.
Nice, very nice. 2 turkeys, man. That's how many people did you have?
13.
See, that's what I'm not gonna lie. That's what I miss this year about this COVID nonsense. It was just my mother and my sister came over, and don't get me wrong, I love my family, I do, but I take after my father in that he loved to entertain, and so do I. So my 2 favorite times a year are Thanksgiving and the Jewish holiday of Passover, because both of those times you have some sort of dinner, some sort of meal that, at Passover I could have 21 people in my house, and it's just kids running around and, just a wonderful time. And, and then I don't know if it's because of all that, and because, COVID has kind of kept us all, apart and things like that, or maybe it's just, settling in. But for some reason this year more than last year, I really missed my father being here, and so it's it was a little tough at first, trying to get through the first part of dinner, but then everything kind of settled in, and my mother still enjoyed it, and she gets to see the grandkids, and that holds her on. So
Yeah.
but sorry, I didn't mean to bring it way down, but it's just,
Hey,
I mean,
Thanksgiving, we
yeah.
have something to be thankful for.
we do.
No matter what, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is
do.
our first Thanksgiving without our mother-in-law. I mean, technically, last year she was in the hospital, but so it's hard on my wife and her family.
I'm
So,
sure.
But we were fortunate. My sister-in-law, my wife's sister, because everybody wasn't getting together, she brought over dishes for us, and she brought us a turkey. So,
Very nice.
the family's still there for each other. We support each other, and I gave my Xbox One X, my old one, the one that was in the living room, to my nephew, which is her son. So he's had I've been supporting his gaming habit, from he got my old Xbox One, 360, he got my old Xbox One, the OG, and now he got the One X. So I showed him the Series X. I said, here's the Series X, it's what it could do. Be patient, maybe you'll get this later on. So, or so you save your money, because now he's older, so you can kind of work for chores and save some money.
Nice.
It's like
Yeah.
any holiday with my family. It's like my in-laws are 3,000 miles to the west,
Right.
and my parents are 3,500 miles to the east. So we're like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. And some of them don't celebrate Thanksgiving, right?
Yes,
No.
but I mean, just any other holiday, like.
Well, sure. Christmas
we were
is-
living
I
in-
mean, that's-
We were living in Europe, and my mom, it was Thanksgiving, so my mom went ahead and did everything, so she's cooking everything, and my uncle shows up, and over there, we lived in a condo, and our family owned the condo, so each floor was a family that lived in there, so we'd all run up and down the stairs as kids. My uncle pops over, and he was the youngest uncle on my dad's side, and my aunt is also the youngest on my dad's side. So we all kind of lived together. They lived with us, but they had their own condos. But yet we would all sit down and eat together. He's sitting down. He's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Did I miss something?" My mom's like explaining, no, this is Thanksgiving in America. He's like, "I like this holiday. We should have that here."
Well, it's a great. I mean, it is a great time of year when you can get together with your friends and your family, and when you can. Yeah, I like that. I like the camaraderie and the being around and being together. And that's kind of why I also, honestly, I'm glad we decided to come on tonight, because this friendship goes that too, and we don't get to see each other live at a table, but we can still hang out and still celebrate the rest of the evening together. So I'm glad you talked us into this, Dread.
Not a problem. I actually did try to talk you out of it too.
You
I was like, "You
did.
don't have to do this," but it's great that you did.
It's like you don't really have to do it.
Please, please don't.
Are you still eating turkey?
Hey, you know what? If you ate turkey while on the show, I would not be the least. I swear I was gonna break down some pumpkin pie.
We have fruit salad though for dessert. That's nice.
Hey,
Oh, that is nice.
fruit salad's good. That's refreshing.
Yeah.
So now and look, I just taking a quick glance here on a Thanksgiving Thursday. We had 15
Chat's
people in the
popping.
chat. Yeah. I mean, I want to say good evening to them. I mean, they're all coming in from dinner too. Now, Niles here, and he's up late.
Yep.
Of course, brother Dragonheart, brother Yobi's here. Cyber Gunter's here. Dan's here. Dan made a real nice comment. Making new
Bugsnax.
memories with your kids, Mike. Yep. The Bugsnax man himself.
Yeah.
Michael Garvey, who I am giving permission to do a little bit of trolling if he wishes. And, Pete, brother Pete, who's in here twice. Back from the dead. And they were in here before we even got started. And Atari Creep, brother Chris.
All right.
Yeah.
He said
Sorry,
he's not
he's,
here.
he's not here.
He's not here. Monkey Punch is here. So I mean, yeah, it's all right. So you can stop trolling now, Mike. All right, you've now hit your limit. So,
Is quota?
Yeah.
I'm with
No.
Mike Garvey. I'm trolling with you, even though I'm just joking.
So, and I had a great time. I gotta say, so we had a great time last night on Gaming Beyond the Box.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Peter and I got a chance to take over the show for a couple minutes afterward.
Yeah.
If only I could find the start button. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, there's many of fun times that happen post show.
So I ended up helping my wife pre-prep some food last night, and I'm like, you know what? I've been playing a whole lot of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and so I'm like, you know what? I'll go down and I'll play a little bit. I finished the story, but I went achievement hunting, and so I jumped into I think Husk was playing Call of Duty with Peter was in there, Wilmy was in there, and then Clowns was in there, and you guys
Dread,
left.
you were in there too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I was in there.
you were in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
So the Peter left. Actually, Wilmy left first. Then Peter left. About 3:30 in the morning, I said, "Guys, I gotta go." They were still at it. He's like, "Well, why don't you play some Halo?" And I'm like, I can't play Halo at 3:30 in the morning. I've got to get up and cook. So I was up till 3:30 with those guys. It was a heck of a nice after show. So I gotta give a shot.
And I did not leave early either.
No, you were almost 1 a.m. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I probably would have still been there had it not been for the game crashing on me over and over again.
Yeah. That Call of Duty has some issues.
Yeah, so I heard. Of course, then again,
Doesn't it always?
Yeah.
No, this seems to be the worst one yet.
Real quick, I got to shout out Monkey Punch. He says, "Thanks for the show tonight, NLG Brothers. Made my day." That means so much to us.
Nice.
The funniest part was, Husk kept. I didn't realize I was the only mic in the room, so he's like, he sent out an invite, and I know he heard me say it earlier, but he's like, "Mike, are you jumping in?" And I didn't say anything because I didn't realize it. I had earlier in the party said, I don't have Call of Duty Black Ops to play. So he's sitting there waiting for me to come in the room, and I'm like, I finally said like 20 minutes later, "You're not waiting on me, are you?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, Did you hear me earlier say I don't have the game? He had been waiting for me for 20 minutes, so that became a joke the rest of the night.
You mean Husk wasn't drunk by then?
Oh, he
might have
was.
been. He
I mean,
was.
he gets drunk during the show, so I can imagine after show.
I
So,
think he stopped playing once his fridge was empty.
yeah. No, but I downloaded the Master Chief Collection because they play that too, and I definitely want to get in on some of that with you guys.
Well, that's why I said, okay, I'm leaving, and then he mentioned like, oh yeah, you can change the field of view. It's like, okay, so I fired it up, and it's like half an hour later. It's like, yeah,
Right.
Definitely need to go.
Yeah, I am so glad they started adding that field of view change. You know what I mean? You feel like you're chugging away in the Master Chief Collection. You change it up, and it now feels like you're almost sprinting all the time. You don't feel
Right.
like you're just like a tank and just stuck to the ground.
I pull that field of view out as far as I can on every game I can until it affects the frame rate. I'll pull it out as much as I can. I did that with Sea of Thieves too.
Yeah, with Halo, I put it like 120. I think that's the max. And I was like, it's almost like it's, you can look almost behind you at that point. It's like, it was a little bit too much.
At least now you can see that you're getting hit from the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
true.
Before
Right.
you're so narrow-minded when you're looking like this, and you just see that something's over here, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep going. And, versus now you can actually see, because now it feels like you have your peripheral vision going.
Right. And I also have my monitor has a slight curve. So I'm wondering if that, made it even worse.
Well,
So I put it I don't know, like in the hundreds something. Maybe 105, 100.
how's it
And that,
look? Because I haven't fired it up yet. How's
I
it look
started
on the Series X?
I fired up Halo 2, and I mean, it looks good.
It looks good.
Because it looked good. The 4K the 4K update looked good. Looked good on the One X. So what's the next enhancement they put into the Series X? What's the difference?
I think the visuals, they cleaned it up even more. So they added more of the textures. I really don't know. I just know it. The maps that were the same maps looked like they were different.
Okay.
So you're looking at one of the maps with the trees that are growing up, and you got like a ridge on the side, and then you got like like that circular base in the middle towards the back. And just looking at everything, the textures look so much better. I was amazed last time when they did the last update on the One X, and I was like dumbfounded. Look at the gun, look at the gloves, look at this, look at that.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was the same, but I played it on a 1080p, right? So I'm playing it right now on a 1080p. I've got no HDR. I don't have 60. I don't have, well, maybe I do have 60, but I don't know. I can't. I don't know what the TV can do. It's so old. I don't think it can do 60. But let's just say if it does, great. But you know what I mean? Just the feel and the look I was kind of back in awe again for a split second. Not as bad as I was with the One X, but I did have that awe look again. I was like, wow, check this out. They really put some work into this.
In Halo 2, Master Chief's suit is like shiny as I don't know what. I was like, dang, I almost need sunglasses. It's like so shiny.
Yeah, because my in-law came over, and he's a PlayStation dude, and obviously I'm on the Xbox side. I've got my Xbox, and I'm like, hey, check it out, look at this. And he's like, how'd you get it? I'm like, I told you the last time I actually got it. I said, did you get yours? He's like, no, I still can't get mine. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. It's like, I wish, but I was like, check this out, by the way. And he's like, yeah, looking at it, and I'm going through Halo. Halo 4, check out the gun, check out the glove, check this out, showing him this, and that. And I'm like, all right, let's go here. When I played Division 2, I remember exactly how fast my NVMe loads on the One X, right? By the time you load and you fast travel from one section to another, you look at everything and it's like, did I just see something? Did I just catch it load? It was just enough that your brain saw, your eyes saw it, but your brain couldn't comprehend that because it's already there. You know what I mean? I did this, and I'm still playing the game off of the NVMe. I don't have it on the external SSD or the internal SSD, right? I have it on the NVMe. It loaded so much faster than it originally did on the One X. As soon as it goes from dark to bright to show you the image, everything's there. Pop.
Mm.
So it's enhanced a lot more stuff, even on the USB NVMe that I have. That was a you know what I mean? It's like a night and day difference
Yeah.
from what I was shown before, and then again.
Well, Paul, Cerebral Paul said HDR. Another thing. By the way, I think also 120 FPS or 120 hertz for those who can do it, which I can't. My TV is 60 hertz, which for me is fine. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with that if it stays there.
Now, your 60 itself is 60 hertz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like mine is 4K. I have a 120 hertz TV, but I don't think it's capable of doing the.
The question is it 120 hertz mode?
Yeah.
I don't think
Then
so,
it's-
because
then it's
you know how
60
you go
hertz.
through when you do set up your settings and all that, and it shows your TV what it can do, and it said, yeah, no, it can't do the 120. I don't know. You think maybe my TV itself has 120?
Yeah,
mode?
you might have to.
Your
might
TV
wanna
might be
check.
120 mode, which is not actually 120 hertz.
Oh, right.
They
I
fake
got you.
it, so you think it's 120.
Yeah.
It's actually 60. A lot of times, those TVs when they show out there and they say mode,
Mhm.
they're actually doubling up because they're using the information. Or, I'm sorry, they're using the CPU and all the hardware that's inside the TV to help simulate that it's actually faster than it really is.
Yeah.
It's not 60 frames. It just
Yeah.
looks like it is.
What's that,
100.
Pong Soul? Yeah, every time I buy a TV, ever since you went from the old HD TV to 1080p, I made sure that I got something that was 120 hertz. I had a Philips. The last TV I had for my gaming was a Philips, a 40 something. It was a 1080p, but it was 240 hertz. And I always had a lot of people come over and they look at that TV and they're like, man, that thing looks good. So,
I know people have said, there's a difference between 60 and 120, but I'm happy enough at 60.
I played Dirt 5 and 120, and what I noticed is that the background, the environment, that doesn't run on 120.
Really?
That seems very filmic, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is odd.
I think we have a long ways to go for these developers to get to hit a better 120, like on PC on these consoles.
Yeah, they still have to figure out all the power tricks to milk every single ounce of juice out of these consoles. So we're still in the infancy in this.
I mean, if you can already have some 4K 60,
Yeah.
mid-way, that should be like bare minimum what every game will do.
Yeah. Well, and I love the fact. So for example, Forza Horizon 4, that update, the Series X version, took out the choice between quality and performance mode. It's just flat out 4K 60, and that's
nice.
That game is absolutely beautiful. On the Series X, I gotta say.
Yeah, in Dirt 5, you have like 3 modes. There's like graphics, resolution, performance.
I still don't. I know you explained
So between
it to me.
graphics and resolution is 4K.
Right.
Graphics is you'll have more shadows and stuff.
Maybe it's
It's
variable.
more.
Think of it
high
as
fidelity.
God of War on PS4. So it's not resolution; it's the fidelity when it comes to
Right.
the graphics.
So maybe it's maybe it's more of a dynamic resolution. Oh, and I think Digital Foundry said that it's dynamic res at image quality mode, but it hangs at 60 frames per second, which to me is is more than what you would get with even the last set of consoles. So
Yeah, I'm just curious. On my monitor, like at least with Dirt 5, I cannot run 1440, 120, and HDR. It doesn't do HDR, even though my monitor can do that. But I don't know if it's a limitation of the Series X, the game, anywhere in between. I don't know. If anybody knows,
I remember hearing something about it, and there's a reason for that. I think it is if I recall it, I believe it is the cores, because the ray tracing is using so much, and you don't have the added cores like you do on the Series X for the graphics. So it's kind of like that trade up.
Could
so
be.
even though you're going that fast, you just can't do the rendering for the HDR.
Yeah. And again, I'd rather have the HDR. I'd rather have, give me the smoothness. Give me that, give me the frame rate. If the resolution kicks around a little bit, the resolution kicks around a little bit.
Well, but also like with ray tracing now too is like, it seems like everything is very shiny, like a mirror.
Right?
They have to finesse it a little bit, because right now it's like ray tracing is the hot item, so they slap ray tracing into everything,
and that's what I was talking about before. It feels like they took the Vaseline out of your eyeballs, and then they just oiled up everything. You know what I mean? You look at some buildings and concrete is so shiny. It's like, wait, I shouldn't see a reflection on it. It's just like they overdid it. Right. They just need to bring it back. It's like the new toy. Oh, check this out. We got this.
Right.
Can anybody else shine up their concrete like this and polish it?
Yeah.
I mean, I expect marble floors to have a certain shine, but at the same time, you look at, let's say, like a phone booth out there, Legions, right? You got like some sort of phone booth, whatever it was. So all these boxes are on the sidewalk. They're super shiny. It's like, well, they should have some dirt and grime on there. There should be a little bit more fuzz or haze to the shine.
Right. Yeah, especially when it rains too, or at least everything is wet, and then it's like the reflection is almost a 1-to-1. It's like, well, you still have the overcast of the clouds that should kind of like,
and
tone it down just a little bit.
Those cars are so polished. It's
they
like
every
everybody
corner,
buffed their cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
the streets and the watchdogs, they look like ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
I haven't seen that yet.
I mean, it's great. I'm not downplaying it. It's just.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that they're overdoing some of it. Like I said, it's a new toy. It's a new, the new thing that everybody wants to talk about and show off that they can do.
Well, and that's what you're buying these consoles for, though. That's the whole reason that they're trying to sell these things. Sell these things now.
Yeah.
So, speaking of sales, anybody catch the misery on Twitter last night? I know I was watching it during Gaming Beyond the Box. I was just because the Walmart put PS5s and Xboxes on sale last night at 9 p.m. And just watching my trending Twitter feed was it was pretty much as miserable as you could get. So it's getting tough.
Yeah, I don't pay no mind to it anymore. I mean, I've got mine, and I feel bad for everybody, but it's all the scammers. You know what I mean? Those bots.
Yeah. But there are, the only reason why they're in business is because people pay double for those consoles.
Yeah, well, hopefully those guys over in England.
Oh yeah.
Whatever happens. How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope they end up sitting on all that and losing all that money because they can't sell it.
Right, and they can't return it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe down there they have some loss because of due to COVID constrictions and other stuff, they take advantage of people who can't go to the store, etc. So.
What's up, Lance? Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but you gotta think too, and we kind of touched on this yesterday, but just to expand on it a little bit, The other problem that's happening is these people are asking the most outrageous prices for these, and you can't. I cannot imagine that the woman that bought 35 of them, and she showed a room full of them. She can't sell them all for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. She just can't.
Because she sells them for $850.
Yeah, I mean, and that that's, even though I still think that's a problem in and of itself. That's a little more palatable than $1,200, $1,300.
But still,
Oh yeah, I agree. No one should be doing it. But as long as people pay, it emboldens them to continue to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing with spam. The reason we still get spam emails is because people click and say buy.
Or
And that's even on a smaller scale because, sending out one email is like 0.00008 pennies. It's like approaching zero, but you do that in mass. And
It works because someone will always go out and buy gift cards and give the numbers to them. Excuse me. And give the numbers to them. And that's as long as there are people who will fall for it, they'll continue to do it. So as long as you have people who are, and that's part of the problem. I was reading an article about this in Forbes today, and last night we were talking about solutions to scalpers, right? How to get around it. How can you enhance the system? Retailers aren't going to care. I mean, they're not going to put any real effort into this because, as we talked about before, they don't care. They sold it. They got the money. What the people do with it, beyond that, and if you don't get one, that's not their problem.
right.
It sucks, but it's not their problem.
And that's the one thing that they have to worry about, right? Because if that product's sitting on their shelves, right, in the warehouse, that's eating up space.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that space costs them money.
Yeah.
So the faster that they can get that stuff in and get it out, the happier they are. So
But then on the other hand, it's like, typically people buy a new console and they buy a couple of games with it. So you would think they would make a few bucks off those games too. That now they won't. But I guess the people who buy those consoles for, twice the price will still buy those games from those stores. So in the end, I guess in the end the store doesn't care.
No. Why should they? They make the sale.
Last week, I tried to help my brother, about 3 or 4 of us, when same thing when Walmart came up and said, "Hey, we're gonna be at 1:00, drop the PS5s," and we got on there. We were waiting. As soon as you click on it and you try to get it, both it said sold out, and he even got it into his basket, started putting his information in it, and then when it goes, and then it just froze, and then it said it was out of his basket.
Yeah.
So it's been happening. It's not gonna. Yeah, it's sad. We only got so many orders. Production out there, and these stores can only, they sell what they get.
I think the only way to combat this is if there's enough supply.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't go through this when Xbox One and PS4 happened, right? I mean, everybody.
PS4 was like,
even if you missed launch day, you still able to get it soon.
Well, it was also a different time at that time. We didn't have this the sickness out there slowing everybody down. We didn't have the fact that there are more gamers now than there were then. There's a lot of things to add up.
I mean, a lot of people picked up gaming again. It's like, hey, we used to game, but now they were forced to sit home. It's like, hey, might as well go back to the old days.
Right. And how many 8-year-olds are now 16?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So those 8-year-olds probably weren't getting a PlayStation 4 or a Xbox One at the time. You know what I mean? So now they're 16. Yeah. Now they know better. Now they want the new stuff too. 12-year-olds. You know,
Yeah.
We still have a younger generation coming in. We got people that are going back into gaming. We got people that, like us, I mean, we all know it. We're not traveling as much because, the restrictions that we have, and also the safety that we have concerns about to make sure that we're not spreading anything or catching anything.
Right.
So there's more people that, what are we doing? We're interacting with the community here. They're trying to interact with their family and get into another community also. So just the reach that gaming has now is expanded multiple times.
Can you imagine if this happened 20 years ago? It's like, we were not as connected, so you couldn't play with your friends because you couldn't visit your neighbor's house. Now, we gather online. We have FaceTime, Skype, and other stuff to, stay in contact with people no matter where they live, as long as they have internet.
20 years ago would have been the PC crowd that would have been okay. They probably would have pushed PC more.
Maybe.
Because think about it, Xbox Live didn't start till 18 years ago.
Yeah,
right. And I was already. I'm sorry.
03, 02 or 03.
I don't know. I got 18 years.
Maybe 20 years. Maybe I should have said more like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, but at the same time, 18 years ago when I was beta testing. And then before beta testing, when I was on Xbox itself, we were hooked up to GameSpy, and we were online with Halo back then. You know what I mean? So we mimicked the network with our PCs to go onto the internet and hooked up our Xboxes as if they were local. So we were doing that stuff already. PC was already online.
Yeah.
Doing other stuff like that. We were playing StarCraft and Command and Conquer, not Command and Conquer.
Well, I played Command and Conquer Online and Tiberian Sun. Yeah. Red Alert.
Yeah.
Rome.
But still, it wasn't as easy as it is now.
No.
It's definitely easier now.
And now, now my mom can do it. And at that point, it's like...
I'm just saying that it would have been those that already in the know with PC and doing the stuff that we did would have been okay. Would have been, pushing that part of the narrative, and probably would have been more towards PC, obviously geared for that push, because consoles weren't ready then. I mean, they had the little modem adapters for the Genesis and the Nintendo and so forth for the Dreamcast, but it wasn't as widespread as PC was at that time. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. But that doesn't necessarily. I mean, the gaming demographic has absolutely grown way beyond what it was even 18, 20 years ago. I mean, I think we know that, but that doesn't. The advent of the scalping and what's going on now, where people are just not able to get these. It is something that is a lot newer than it used to be. Now, granted, this used to be a big issue with sneakers, right? But video
tickets
games
for concerts and
tickets for right, calling Ticketmaster, right? Remember, but buying video game consoles. I mean, I don't even remember. I didn't have this much trouble getting any console at launch that that if I didn't have a kind of a contact that just happened to have one to sell, I'd still be sitting here without one myself.
Yeah.
We'd be still pounding our hands on the keyboard, wondering how it is you could put something in a cart, and then by the time you click checkout, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that's
to me, that's a flaw in the system too. If you got it in your cart, that should be allocated for you until you either time out or take it out of your cart or you pay for it.
Can you imagine going to the grocery store and you get to the counter and it's like, oh, snap, where did my milk go? Sold out.
Right.
Did you forget about Black Friday?
It was in your cart.
Yeah.
You're
Forget
walking
about
by
Black
someone
Friday
else.
where they reach in and grab your stuff out of your
Right.
cart when you're looking at a product over here and
Right.
Yeah.
they're like,
Somebody walks
what?
by and Now, Sony did tweet yesterday that here's what they tweeted. They said, "We want to thank gamers everywhere for making the PS5 launch our biggest console launch ever." So, like Microsoft, the PS5 is the biggest seller out of the gate for Sony. So, eclipsing even the PS2 and the PS4. Demand for PS5 is unprecedented. Well, no shit. Scalpers love them. So we wanted to confirm that more PS5 inventory will be coming to retailers before the end of the year. Please stay in touch with your local retailers. So,
it's funny. Local seems like,
right,
the store next door, but
right. I mean, the problem is, any number that either of them come out with that, and maybe this is why Microsoft looks more at engagement than they do raw sales numbers, because they can tell, okay, well, yeah, we've sold this many consoles, but how many Game Pass subscriptions have we sold? I mentioned this last night. How many accessories are we selling? So they can tell. Sorry, they can tell what stock is going where by the fact that those PS5s sitting in store or sitting in a garage somewhere to some jackass that's trying to sell it for $1,200 a pop. That's one less copy of Miles Morales and one less copy of Godfall and one less copy of Astro's Playroom that's getting played. It's one less copy of Demon's Souls that's being bought. Because you can't buy it. You don't have a console because these assholes are scooping them up. That's where I think, and one of the points I made last night was Sony and Microsoft need to step in and deal with this with the retailers. And I think they have that power because remember, Sony literally put out a blog post on launch that said you will not be able to go into a retailer, walk in, and buy one. They literally told resellers, you can't sell our product to walk-ins. So if they have that much pull with Best Buy and Walmart and Amazon and such, they should have the pull to say, you guys need to protect our product against the scalpers. Because what's happening is we're also then losing out on potential other sales. And the way I would pitch it is, no one's coming into Walmart to buy an accessory. So you're not making any money on our accessories. You're not making any money on our physical games. You're not making any money on anything else because you're allowing these scalpers to just grab mass inventory. That's how I would approach it. And let the retailer deal with it from there.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think to a certain point they do have some influence on retailer, but I think once this stock is in retailers' hand, it's their choice on how they want to sell it, and is it not? I mean, it is and it isn't because. I mean, don't the retailers, they buy this stuff? Once it's retailers that it's in their stock, it's theirs because they bought it, right?
It is. So what would have happened if Best Buy, for example, said to Sony, "Screw you! I'm not gonna leave out our in-house customers. We're gonna sell these on the floor like we normally do. We don't care what you're mandating." What would be the response from Sony?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. Depends on
Sony
how,
needs them
how
more
big
than
Best Buy is. As a retail partner for Sony.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, when that statement, it could be certain retailers, like Peter's saying, maybe some are retail partners more, but others like Walmart and so on that are Amazon, they could do whatever they want. I don't know. It's just, but I think that statement is kind of like, I don't think it really holds much weight because most retailers were already doing that anyways. And plus, it also comes down to your state what restrictions they might have. So no matter what, you ain't walking in the store either way. So.
Well, what happens when they update their prices and now they got to sell it for less? You know, they still abide by it. I mean, they're going to have to do that because if you think about it, they're not going to be able to say, well, you know what? I don't care what you tell me. If you want to tell me that you're going to sell this for $500, I'm still selling it for $600. You know what I mean? If that's the case.
Someone like Best Buy, they bundle them up. Sometimes you can't even get a regular, console. You got to get a bundle only.
Yeah.
That's how it was with
the
Switch, right?
GameStop was doing that for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me feels like if you want to kind of, you're never going to end all this scalping.
No, it's just gonna be a new trick.
But I think what Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo could do is set up a deal where you're guaranteed if you put in a pre-order, let's say, and I heard someone saying this, I think the other night or whatever on Twitter, but if you put in, and I think even Xbox brought this up, maybe have some kind of deal where you put a deposit, so you're guaranteed. So you may be on the queue, you may not be the first. Let's say, launch day they come out with $1 million. Maybe you're not in that first $1 million, but you're on the second wave. You're guaranteed a console because you put a deposit. It would be kind of cool if they had a way where you can do it through your gamer tag right on your console, and that way you're guaranteed. It's tied to your gamer tag, and either Microsoft does it or maybe Amazon. Because some of them they have a way. You can buy a game and then redeem it to your gamer tag, right? There's a better way for them to do it.
We were talking about.
They still have to sell to the other rest of the population that maybe they're not hardcore gamers like us that might preserve it to pre-order through our gamer tag, but I don't know.
Yeah, because we were talking about it last night with two-factor authentication that Best Buy was using, and there was what you just explained too. So there's many avenues that they can take, but if there's a way to exploit it, those guys will exploit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
You can just make it harder,
Yeah. So I mean, you would use the Captica, right? So because bots couldn't see it, but guess what? Now they're when the bot runs into it, it goes to a live person in China or in India, and then that person fills in the information, and then you go from there to back to the bot to finish the process. So they just circumvented the whole Captica thing, so it's like no matter what we do, they're going to find a way around it.
Yeah.
So you make it harder for your customers to obtain it just so they can obtain it, or do you make it, you know what I mean? It's a tricky thing to try to figure out how to circumvent these scalpers from doing what they're doing.
And plus even if we weren't in a pandemic, I mean, they can only produce so much, right, at launch. And you don't want to produce more than you projected to sell. So they have projections. So no matter what, they only can produce so much at launch. It's just the way it is, You're not going to sit there and produce 2 million and you're projected to only sell maybe 1 million in 24 hours. So. No,
but they had to have known that they're going to sell out, both companies.
Oh, I'm sure.
With the way that this year's been going.
Even last gen, I mean, Xbox One sold well in the 24 hours, right? First week.
It did.
Yes.
It did.
So,
it did $1 million. They both did $1 million in the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
And there's word that they both did 1.5 here over the first 24 hours. But what percentage of that are actual gamers?
Regular people.
Right, regular people. That's the problem is that that skews that number, and you're not making none of them make a huge, even if you're making money and the console is profitable, and typically we all know that they're not
Yeah.
completely profitable at launch. You're making that up, in other ways, and I think it stings. It stings Microsoft, I think, more because they're trying to sell Game Pass, and if you can't sell that Game Pass subscription because, well, the people you want to sell the console to, they're not able to get the console. I mean, that's got to be, and I think that's why I think Phil said something this week, because I think he understands that.
He does. But they did say, they did talk about that, was it 75 or 85% of the Series X, Series S that were sold were people on Game Pass.
Well, no, they did say,
was it something that
hold on, let me look that up. I know you're very
so
close.
they're still trying to relate.
You're very close.
Relating it to Game Pass.
Yeah, I think it was like.
So that means that those consoles must have gotten online then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't. Think about it though. But if you're buying Game Pass for you, you don't have to have a console. You know what I'm saying? So that could still be added on to that. When it comes to Excel, you can manipulate Excel, even though it's logic and it's ones and zeros and all that. But you can manipulate those numbers. So as long as you know how to manipulate Excel, you can make the stockholders happy with your results. You can also turn around and make your bosses happy with your results, even though they're the same results and they contradict each other. It just depends on the values you leave and present. So if you're saying 70% is the but you don't know if it's the actual attachment, because
So I found it. So Microsoft does say 70% of all Series X/S buyers are now attached to Game Pass in some form. So 70% of folks who bought the console have either are new or existing subscribers. Now, it does not say how many people. So it does. In fact, so the next thing down that I'm reading. Next gen means more ways to play and discover. 70% of Series X/S consoles are attached to new and existing Game Pass members. So that's 70%. So that the question is, what's the other 30%?
Well, what about of the existing? What's the difference between new and existing? Because I'm counted into that percentage, right?
Right.
I'm an existing customer getting the new console. I'm part of that percentage. I didn't get a new subscription. I'm already there.
Right. So the other 30%.
But if you look at, if you use this to look at percentage of scalpers, it's less than 30%, because people also have them sitting under their tree, or will be going under their tree, or
True.
Hanukkah present, etc. So
but 10, let's say it was 10%. Just throwing a hypothetical number out there, and let's say that the estimates of selling, 1.5 million day one, and then you figure the few times they've gone on sale. So let's just rounded number. Let's say to date, since it launched, they sold 2 million units. If 10%, and I will just use that as so if we're below 30%, let's say 10%, that's still 200,000 consoles that went to scalpers. That's a lot of consoles. That's still a lot, and that's still potentially 200,000 less $15 a month subscriptions that they could sell, unless somebody outrageously pays for, a Series X or S. That's still a lot of revenue on the table.
It is. I just don't see. I don't know. I just don't see what Sony and Xbox can do. I mean, if they produce more, you're still going to get more scalped. More people have a chance to get one if they produce more. But I still think a lot of it's on the retailers. Like y'all were saying, they just don't care. They're all about the almighty dollar, and they don't care if you're a scalper or not. They're getting paid either way.
No, I agree. But I guess what I had brought up earlier with Sony was, you know, I brought up their launch day update.
Yeah.
And you know what? Funny enough, Dread, I think you were here when I talked about this the last time. I think you were actually on that show.
Yeah.
They were the ones that said no units will be available in store for purchase on launch day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they said they pretty much said all of their retail partners. So they if Best Buy does curbside service. Best Buy couldn't even do curbside.
Yeah.
Walmart,
which is BS. Yeah.
Walmart doesn't care. They let people into their store. You couldn't, which made no sense to me when it happened. You couldn't walk into the electronics department and buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5, especially a PS5. But I could walk in and I could walk into the electronics department and go buy a TV. Or go buy a half a dozen other things. I could walk around the store and pick up whatever else I wanted, but I couldn't pick up a PS5.
I know, it's
See,
BS.
that's not See, to me, that's not Walmart saying that. That's a mandate from Sony, and that's why I said there's nothing then to me that says Sony can't and Microsoft can't say, look, you guys have got to change how you sell these. And again,
they can have that influence. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like because Sony had that influence on launch day selling them and not letting them do in-house stock, that to me opens the door for them to be able to tell retailers, you guys are costing us in other revenue, and you need to fix this.
No, I hear you. And there was an article where Phil did talk about this.
Yeah,
that they feel that the system, the setup needs to be updated. It needs to be evolved to where it's not so bad like this for scalpers. So they were talking about putting a deposit so you're guaranteed.
Yeah,
but
I
you have scalpers doing that too.
Whether you pay it up front or you pay a deposit, it's the same difference.
Right.
And where I look at it, in store makes the perfect sense because even if you pay somebody to stand in line for you, you know what I mean? You're paying that person. That's a body that's got to be there. How many bodies can you pay out to have stand in line? I mean, one guy literally was bragging. He's like, "Yeah, I hired a Mexican to go stand in line for me over there. I gave him $20." And it's like, what? But he did. He was like, he was all proud of it.
Yeah.
He paid somebody to stand there. And it's like, okay, I get it, but he only got 2 consoles out of that because he stood in line in one place and he paid somebody else at another place to stand there, right? So he doesn't have 35; he's got 2.
Right, and that doesn't. I don't think that. I don't think that was done to scalp. I think that was done. It was like it to me. That is like you sitting on, like me sitting on one set of websites and my wife sitting on the other, and if we both happen to get it in a cart at the same time, so be it. We've got 2.
That's old school scalping.
That's also right, but it's not scalping. Right. And I give a lot of credit.
It's like what happened to Clowns. The baby scalped his.
Yeah.
Yes.
But and this is where I give a lot of credit to One-Eyed Jack, the guy who sold me his. Yeah. He was like, no, I'll sell it to you for what I paid for it. I paid him for the console and I paid him for the shipping, and that was the deal because he's honorable and he wasn't trying to scalp. So in those situations, I don't mind if you do that. I can't lie and say I might not, pay somebody, slip somebody a 20 to hey, you go stand in line at this GameStop. I'm going to be over at this GameStop. If you're doing it that way, I don't have a problem with that.
I also don't
That's
have a problem.
Kids for.
I also don't have a problem if you bought like 1 or 2 extra. You know what I mean? You're not buying 35,000 extra. You know what I mean? It's just 1 or 2 extra. And if someone really wants to spend that kind of money, at least it's still a lot more available for others to do that. it's not a big deal if it's a couple. You know, you're helping try to alleviate how much you're paying for your console. But those guys are trying to make money. They're not trying to alleviate the payment for that one console that they have.
No, they know it's in short supply, and therefore, they know they can make money.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like what Born Distracted said. Some say it's a soft launch, which I kind of agree with, because you look at this new next gen. We got more cross gen involved. We had some cross gen last gen, right? But I think this gen cross gen is more important because they see there's more money to be made with the game sales still supporting last gen. You got cross gen, you got cross play going on. With the pandemic and everything going on, it is kind of a soft launch. There, none of these gaming studios, Xbox, Sony, are at their full capabilities because, they're all working from home pretty much. So it's not easy. So if you look at it, next holiday, hopefully, God forbid, the vaccine's out, things are back to normal. I can see next holiday really being more of a next gen holiday launch in a way.
Well, I can see the spring possibly being that way too if this stuff starts to back off.
You start getting more production and more, no one's really having a hard time. They can walk in, get a console. So,
I mean, we had the same issue with Switch, and it wasn't during the holidays.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But everybody was buying the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But I had a buddy at work. His son, he used to work for eBay. He's a hustler. He goes around to all the stores and he was buying up all the Switches, and then he was selling them at a higher price. So, there are people out there who hustle.
Yeah.
So,
I that's such grave for me, And look, Cerebral Paul said, I know someone who got 4 units of his 5 pre-orders. He reached out to friends he knew didn't get one and sold them at his cost. I don't have a problem with.
You got to commend that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. He did. He wasn't botting. He probably had, and it said pre-orders, so he probably had 6 or 7 sites up. Just happened to get pre-orders on all of them, and instead of canceling his pre-orders, said, "I know people who I know can't get them. Let me sell them." I can't say I have a problem with that. I think that's okay. I think that is different than what's happening now. So, I also agree with Born and such. I mean, does this seem to you guys like a soft launch? Like this is like let's just get whatever hardware we can get out the door now, and we'll, especially with Microsoft, who didn't launch with really anything, and we have no idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, they put all the eggs in one infinite basket.
Yeah.
I mean, and that didn't take place, so there you go. Now you don't have anything to show. So
No.
I mean, for them, that was that's a big title.
Yeah, they reached in that infinite basket. It was so infinite, they had nothing
Yeah, exactly.
to grab onto.
No,
They couldn't feel the bottom of it.
There's no Mary Poppins stuff coming out of that bag.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. So, the games that I have been going back and playing, the Forza Horizon 4, I would have liked to have seen a Jedi Fallen Order upgrade. But, the games, some of the games that I'm going to dig into, I did buy Dirt 5 tonight.
Oh,
My
nice.
wife said, because I gave her, when all was said and done, I gave her $330 in Amazon gift cards that I had saved up, and I asked her if I could take 60 of the rest of it because Target's got that $20 Black Friday deal on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and apparently I think Nate said you could stack 3 of them, so I'm gonna get another 9 months for $60. So she let me do that. So she said, I really don't need your Microsoft reward points. So I had enough to get to get Dirt 5, and I still have enough to get another game if I wanted to. So beyond that, I think that had Jack not come through for me, I mean, the One X would still be more than adequate for my needs.
I mean, that's the beauty, because we don't have a hard new next generation. It's all
But it's turning more like PC as it is. They've even said that they want the consoles to be more like PC. I mean, do you actually have a game that's built only for the 3090? No.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could still do. I mean, even my 12-year-old PC can play a lot of these games. Not a big deal. Do I need to upgrade the graphics card? Yeah. Do I need to upgrade the CPU? Yeah. But I could do whatever I want with it. Console-wise, we can't do that, but at least now you have the option with the older games to still be able to, or I'm sorry, the older consoles to still be able to play some of these newer games. And it's not holding it back, because it never held it back on the PC side.
No. And that's the beauty of PC, is that it's scalable and modular that way.
Yep.
And that's that's something that they'll always, that is an advantage that PC will always have over consoles until one of them gets their plan to have modular consoles, which I don't think that's ever going to happen. And I think Microsoft and Sony being able to sell mid-gen refreshes and be somewhat successful at it, I think that gives them the path forward. Now, here's a good question. Do you guys think, I mean, the Series X, to an extent the Series S, because, I mean, Wilmy last night said don't sleep on the S as far as power goes. Do you think where we are now, we're going to get another mid-gen refresh of these, or are we looking at a good 6 or 7 years of being able to use these current consoles?
I say mid-gen refresh.
Probably. I mean, definitely, you will have your manufacturer upgrades, probably what we've seen in the past, where, so not really like for a consumer standpoint that they're more powerful, but just from a manufacturer perspective, that it's cheaper to manufacture due to, some advancements they made on the boards and the socks and stuff.
Well, but that to me almost screams slim model.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of an upgrade,
like
where.
Yeah, I mean they might, but then the other hand is like the PS4 and the Xbox One were already like behind the curve technology-wise when it came out. Now at least with these consoles, they're right up there. Right. They're not behind. So, but I can definitely see them like 4 years from now, a cycle of 4 years, and then you have the.
Maybe they need to make it. I don't know.
It's not going to be an apology console like Mike, that you call the One X and PS4 Pro.
It will if they put an HDMI pass-through back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to put that back in.
That'll be the apology to me. That'll be the apology to me. I'm still a little chafed about that. I had to unhook my my DirecTV box, because that's what was running through my One X, and now I got to figure out what to do with that.
See, and that's what I was doing with my TiVo. I would watch TV, stream, and passing through it, and I was able to get invites while I was watching TV, or if I could select not to see the notifications during the show. Well, I could sit down and watch a movie and see that, oh, someone had popped in. Okay, well, I've been waiting for so and so to pop in so we can go play this game. In the meantime, I'm keeping myself occupied. Right? We don't get that now.
No.
Now,
Right.
now it's on a different input. I don't see that. I don't see game invites. I don't see messages. I don't see any of that stuff if I'm watching my TiVo.
Right.
At least now you can use your phone, maybe. You know, at least see who's on, or you need to get a second TV side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the message that Microsoft wants to give.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never understood taking that out of the mix. I mean, I never understood the reason for that. That seemed dumb to me. It was a great feature. I can't imagine that it was that inexpensive. And you've already taken so much else from me.
Yeah, I mean, you have your licensing fees probably for HDMI, but that's not a whole lot.
No, it's really not.
$2 per million units. That's $2 million. So
Yeah, but you pass
I
it on to the
understand if they're
consumer.
they're trying to save money, but at the same time, I think they're also trying to get away because that stigma yet again is still there of TV.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not that anymore. It's including TV. It's
Well,
including these options and features.
Yeah. Well, except now, now they have a brand new stigma that they're trying to work through, thanks to the damn SDKs not being mature. So that's a whole different issue now that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
But still, I still have a little hard time to believe that in a sense of like, sure, if you use, more optimized APIs and it's more mature, then sure. But you would have thought that they could brute force it, though.
and I think patches are
And
coming.
how much more will you will you at that point be on par to a PS5?
Well, and that's the interesting thing. Think about Valhalla, right? So Ubisoft said, was it today? It was today or yesterday that they are patching Valhalla, and that patch will bring the Xbox Series S version to 60 frames per second. Because remember, the S version was running at 30, while the PS5 and X version were running at 60. So, what happened in between launch and that patch that they're able to make that major of a change to the game on that system?
But now there's some people saying that the game doesn't look as good, so it's like, so now you can select between 30 or 60, and 30 is high graphical fidelity, and the 60 is not, and who knows? Some people are angry, like let us have the auto patch, and with variable refresh rate, we didn't see any screen tearing.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of these studios just weren't completely ready for next gen. I mean, they're still developing these games for, X1 and PS4, and now I can see why Cyberpunk delayed, because they saw that there was a lot more optimization to be done, and they don't want to sit there and be like Valhalla and Watch Dogs having to sit here and throw patches out. And here you are, you got Digital Foundry pointing out some of these flaws that, on these games, because, they're not fully optimized for the next gen. So
No, they're not. They're really not.
And even if Xbox knew this, they're not going to sit there and say anything. They're going to leave it up to the developers. It's up there. It's on their timetable to get this stuff done, and they're not going to sit there and tell people, hey, sorry, but you're not going to really see. You're going to have some issues when you start playing these games at launch. They're not going to say that.
No, they're not.
Make money. You know,
But they've opened themselves up to Digital Foundry to do it.
Their narrative or people who use their findings for
they knew that was going to
narrative.
happen. You know, what are you going to do? I mean,
And then you have dirt with the headlights that look weird.
Right, the headlights and the
because
grass.
the wrong
Right.
yeah.
Well,
the thing is, they got it. They got to, you know, work with the developers to get through all these, you know, issues. They know they're having trouble. The developers weren't ready to optimize for next gen on Xbox Series X and S. They knew they were behind the curve on that, right? To me, I think it's best, you know, there's a lot of good things people are saying playing on the next gen, even though they're having some of these issues on third party. But to me, it's like, hey, just power through it, work with the studios, get it done. They'll be better for it, you know, going forward with, you know, third party games that come out next year, you know, to get through all this web patch. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later, so might as well get it done now.
No, that is a good point. But at the same time, and I think where the problem is lying, and again, this is something else we discussed yesterday, was, you know, what the purpose of Digital Foundry is. You know, their comparisons, nobody said after the comparison of, say, Dirt 5, nobody said, wow, that's Codemasters really sent out an unimpressive, you know, an unoptimized game. No, what people said was, oh, see, look, just on paper, you know, on paper doesn't mean anything. The PS5 is a stronger console, and even, you know, and it didn't matter that even the guys on Digital Foundry said, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look like an issue with the console. It looks like an issue with the development of the software.
Yeah.
But that's not what people take out of it.
Of course not.
And
Because they also don't put it in the you know, in the first paragraph. They don't. Somewhere in it. So unless somebody actually reads the whole thing.
But as I said last night, for Chris's benefit, as we talked about this, they also didn't go to Codemasters and say, hey guys, this is what we're seeing. Is there an explanation?
Yeah.
You know, that's an issue. And so what happened?
But also with Dirt, they had the Dirt guy, you know, with them and did a whole in-depth thing about, you know, Series S, Dirt 5
right.
Shield. So they had a relationship with that dev.
But did they sit there and put it in 120 performance mode and then sit there and zoom in on headlights to, you know, do comparisons?
No,
I mean,
when you do that later, they could have said, "Hey, you know, this is odd," and at least get a statement from them saying like, "Oh yeah, you know, we pulled in the wrong textures."
They did come out and say something about it. That, you know,
but after the fact, and they said, the game wasn't running right, so we're going to go back and do it again. But guess what? The damage is already done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's something that the devs never even thought of to say, hey, look, what if they go in photo mode and look around to the front of the car? Yeah. You know, we're all laughing about it going, you know, who's going to see the headlights when you're driving in the game? You know, everybody's doing photo modes now, so maybe that was part of it. Maybe it's something that was an oversight, you know. But at the same time, damage is done. You know, they could have prevented all this and been honorable and said, hey, look, you know, what's going on here? Because this doesn't seem right. You know,
who could have done that? The studio or Xbox?
Digital Foundry.
Yeah, Digital Foundry, you know, they might sit there and say, oh, we're just diving in deep on these things, you know, because it's all interesting and people like to see this. That's cool, but they know what this really does.
Yeah, well, they call.
I mean, they're the
business.
It drums up views for them, and they can sit there and cry, "Oh my God, people are being negative. They're sending me threats in my DM," but they know what it's doing for their channel. It's getting views.
Well, that's part of the problem is that it's getting views. Because I asked the question: would it be more beneficial from a technical standpoint for them to quote do their jobs? Because John Linneman said, "I'm not a I'm not a journalist. Okay. So if you're not doing reviews, then why not separate the two, like you did with the S version, which I totally forgot about. I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. They really, and part of the reason they didn't do a comparison then was because Sony had not given them a PS5 yet. So all they had, all they had on Dirt 5 was the S. Yeah. So why couldn't they do a PS5 only thing later and just cover that? And then if they want to do an Xbox Series X, if they want to do, I'm okay with you doing comparisons to same company. So there's a lot of times when they'll do when they did, here's what a game looks like on the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Here's what a game looked like on the One X versus the OG Xbox and the One S. That's fine. And if they wanted to say, hey, here's what the difference is between the Series X version and the Series S version, all good. And then in a separate article, you say this is what the PS5 version looks like. Yeah. Why? But to your point, Chris, they know what they're doing. They know what they're getting out of that click, and so they won't get as many clicks with not contributing to the console wars.
Yeah, they know these games are not optimized for either of both consoles are struggling at a certain point. They both have their strengths and weaknesses right now, not being fully optimized.
Right.
There's good things that they both do, and right now they struggle. Of course, Xbox is behind because, like Dreadp00l was saying, that was it SDK? What do they call it?
GDK.
The kit. It wasn't in the developer's hands, assume, because they're waiting on the full RDNA 2 from AMD.
Yes.
To use.
Right.
So it is what it is.
And a quick shout out to the chat room who is taking on Team Horizontal versus Team Digital right now. Thank you. And Brother Jago is Team Horizontal. I knew I liked him for a reason.
No, man, you got to be erect.
Yeah. Team Missionary or Team Doggy Style?
I mean,
man.
We're walking up straight. We're not just crawling.
I got just as much power on the side as I do on the top. Oh my goodness! And also shout out to them for a very lively digital versus physical debate going on right now. But I love how Dan said he had to rearrange his whole setup. His OCD wouldn't allow him to sit him on his side.
I don't blame him.
Jago, team wife on her side. Good God.
It's funny is I got my 360 standing upright. I've got the and it's the 360 Elite, right? I've got that standing upright. I've got the PlayStation 3 standing upright, and all I did was slide them to the side, and I put the Series X right there. And just below them is where I had my Scorpio. Now I got that sitting right next to me here. But, like I said, it's a paperweight, so I got to figure out what was causing that issue, if it's a power supply issue or if there was something else internally that decided to go wonkers. But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Whatever fits, go with it. But, yeah, I say stand it upright. It makes more sense for the design perspective. Yeah. Okay, it really doesn't matter as much, but design-wise, heat rises. So why not let the heat do its job on its own? You probably have a little bit less worry about the fan speeds or sounds or anything like that. I don't even hear it.
I don't hear mine either. No, I don't hear mine either. But that fan, so my 11-year-old, I showed it to him, and he had his own opinion. I got to hear his latest TED talk on horizontal versus vertical, but he was so impressed with. He looked at the top of the Series X. He was like, "What's that green?" And I said, "Well, so that top part is one giant fan." Mm-hmm. And he was just mesmerized by the fact that this thing had a big giant fan at the grill of the machine. So, he started researching this whole thing. He has given me his blessing that I can keep it on its side, though. So that is important.
Well, in your case, I would be worried standing it up on top, because what if somebody bumps into the shelf? It could fall over easier.
It's not that.
No. I'm not worried about that. And honestly, nobody bumps into that. I'm not worried as much about that. It just aesthetically looks really bizarre standing up like a monolith on that when it just doesn't. Horizontally, it just looks nicer. And I don't begrudge anybody else who, if you want to redo your room because you have to have it vertical. I'm not.
I think if you ask Daz, you have to redo your room anyways.
Yeah.
Get rid of the yellow walls, but
right.
So, do you have a white monolith when you finally get your PS5, or do you have a white UFO?
So that's a good question.
See, I think at that point you have to put your Series X up straight, because otherwise you run out of space. Right.
I mean, if I put them next to each other, or if it's not like, I don't know, because unlike, I hate to say it, but unlike the Series X, I'm gonna have to keep my PS4 for a while, even after getting a PS5. Just because I'm not sure what's gonna be compatible with it. So, I don't know the answer to that until I get it. I mean, looking at, I've got a possible spot for it that I could sit it upright. But the other thing too is the size of that thing, and the fact that it's that much taller than the Series X is going to dictate whether I can put it on one of the shelves just based on its size.
Yeah.
I may have to literally move the stuff that's on the top of my other side just to put that there, even if I decide to put it on its side. I think the big difference for me is that's going to be dictated for me, not necessarily something I'm going to be able to choose.
I think I have the solution for you. Stand it upright, turn it 90 degrees, get rid of your TV, get a projector, and then play.
Project it straight on it.
It's getting old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first time I heard that. That could work.
No, really?
Yeah.
I've been saying it for months.
I must have missed that, or maybe I didn't catch on to it.
That's okay. You don't listen to me anyway.
Never. Yeah. No, I don't know. To me, the Series X looks weird laying down. It looks like a beach well.
What?
And
no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
And the PS5, it looked like a fat guy doing a pose for a calendar laying on his side. Got a lot of uneven. Just doesn't look right.
The disc version is literally like a pregnant fat guy. That's just a fat guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean,
at least when you lay that one flat, you know what way to stick that disc in, though.
Yeah.
Well, there is that, right?
And that one is
it should be common sense. If you lay it down, you lay it down like this, the disc goes in this way. When you put it like this, you turn the disc the same way also. You know what I mean? It's just, even on the Xbox, the disc goes in the same way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So what? And then you got these guys that are like flipping the disc around. I don't even know if they're playing. You know what I mean? It just seems like it's just so silly that they're still flipping the disc back and forth and then putting it the same wrong way again and going, I don't understand, this isn't working.
It's like a USB cable, How many times you plug it in first, it doesn't work. You rotate it, try it in first, still doesn't work. It's like the first one was actually right, but somehow...
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. But
yeah,
he's still putting the disc in the wrong way again. After he's doing the flipping, it's like, are you really playing around like that? Are you messing around? Are you trolling? Are you seriously that oblivious?
So on the PS5, can you? I guess you can lay it on either side, right?
No.
With the disk drive on top or the bottom, or no?
No.
No, the disc
The,
drive.
the disk drive is at the bottom.
Yeah, and the
But
stand.
that bracket won't go on top on the other side.
No, that's
It could.
the part that's stupid about it. There's one piece, the piece that comes off is the left side, I think,
Yeah.
if we saw that right. So when you put it down on its side, the piece that comes off is the top, and you have to put the stand in a certain spot. So it's like you.
And it doesn't click like they say it does in the video, in the breakdown, where they show you how it snaps in. It doesn't snap in like that. You know, it has a snap to it, but it's not like a click. Like
At least at the bottom, you have that screw, you know, so at least you know it's secure.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
But what happens when you shift it like this? You know, the base stays there, and all of a sudden it like unclicks. You know, I think they could have done better there. You know what I mean? At least, and this is part of where with Xbox. You know, back to the external expansion card, right? I criticized them at first, like that is so stupid. You know, you should. Why would they do something like that? Well, it makes sense. Now it makes sense. You know, you make it idiot-proof. Same thing with the console, idiot-proof. You can stand it up or you can set it down. You know how many people were messing around with their One X's and not clicking in the base right, and it fell over and it ruined my disc. You know, so you minimize that. You minimize issues like this. How many times have they broken controllers? The elite controllers, you know, and they're like they're supposed to be top of the line and they're breaking. The guys that designed it go out there and they're like, let us know so we can take it back. You know, and they're going back out to these guys and like, how are you holding this controller? And they found out that there's a good 30%, if I recall correctly, that hold their controller completely different from everybody else. And of those 30%, they're not all the same, but there's variations on how you hold the controller. You know, forgive the fact that it's actually a Stadia controller. But I mean, you got guys that will hold the controller like this, and I mean, this is my normal way of holding a controller. This is how I usually play, right? But you got guys that do this. You got guys that actually play like the claw.
Yeah, I got that's like so.
You know what I mean? And you're.
It's worse than inverted controls.
I don't get it, but you know what I mean. And there's guys that they're doing like this weird stuff that they never anticipated before, and that's what's causing these controllers to break. You know, so if you're going with the console, the same thing. You're trying to make it idiot-proof, right? You don't want to. You just set it down. It doesn't matter if you stand it up and set it down. Less work. I mean, granted, once you set it up, what are the chances you're gonna like? Oh, you know what? I don't like it vertical anymore. I'm gonna go horizontal.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're redesigning your room, that's the only time you're doing that. If you're redesigning your setup, but other than that, you know, some of these people are making a bigger deal out of the ability to go one way or the other. When once you set it up, it's set it and forget it. You know, you put it there, you hook it all up. Do you really mess with those wires that much? Do you really mess with everything like that? You know, and then you just whatever, you know, pop your game in and you play. You don't even think about it no more. I don't even think about the Series X anymore, where it's at. You know, I just play.
Right.
You know, the only time I think about it is when I'm showing it off. Like, hey, check this out. You know, look at what I got.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only time. The rest of it, it's like I look up and okay, the light's on and you know it's getting ready to boot.
Speaking of which, I still can't get over how fast that damn thing boots up.
Yep. And then when Quick Resume is working, how fast?
Unfortunately, Quick Resume unfortunately only works partially with some of the stuff I'm playing.
Well, right now they've pulled it back. Some games were working and they pulled it back to tweak it out. I guess there's issues for some. So it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you never know which game is going to work or not work right now.
Every time I fired up, like I said yesterday, every time I fired up Jedi Fallen Order, it would take me to the place where I was, but then say my profile had changed. And I even tried. I was to protect the console from my kids coming down and trying to get on it. I did put a pass key on my my account. I took that off, figuring, okay, well, maybe it's the pass key. Nope, it's just broken.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's what upsets me. You know, we were talking about the HDMI input. I liked the option of make it magical. And those that actually like Kinect, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You walk in front of it, it says hello Dreadpool.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter walks in front of it, it says hello Princess. You know what I mean? It's like she got a huge kick out of it. You know, like, oh, the Xbox knows I'm here. It's you know what I mean? It lit her up that, you know, now she's like, why doesn't it say hello? I'm like, because it doesn't have the camera anymore.
Right.
Well, can't we hook it up? I'm like, it's not the same.
No.
That's a shame.
No, it's not. I enjoyed that too, sitting down and it just, or just going, you know, well, now, so I could do it. To be fair, I have hooked my Series X and my One X up to Google Home, so I can tell G to well, I've got a little
G Oogle.
Yeah, G Oogle. I got a little thing right next to the computer, so if I say it, it'll do it. But I do have it set to where I'm upstairs and we have a Google hub upstairs, and you know, wife goes to bed, and from up there I can tell it to turn the Xbox on, and then walk downstairs, and the Xbox, and because it's got HDMI CEC, TV's on, everything's ready to go. All I have to do is just pair my headset, pick up my controller. So I mean, that part still works from the voice side, but there's so many things I miss about the Kinect.
Yeah. See, I miss all the stuff that you were able to do with the Kinect when it came to that. You know, yet again, a lot of the stuff was the, oh no, they're watching us. Oh no, you know, all this extra BS that now is normal and commonplace for what we're doing, you know, with our smart houses and all this. So it's funny how it was such a big deal, but yet we carried phones that did the same thing. You know, they're always so far ahead of themselves, and then they double back. And those of us that understood where the tech was going and what we could do with it are now missing out on it because the other guy, people didn't like it. Okay, you didn't like it. You don't have to. You don't have to use it. Let us use it. We wanted it. We loved it.
Right.
Yeah. And I hated the fact that anytime Microsoft pulled something out of the console, they blamed it on, well, our usage statistics say. Well, okay, but it was a choice you gave people. And so you're going to take that choice away from me because somebody else didn't use it. You know, I will never be on board with that. And I think Ibarra had a lot to do with that nonsense.
Yeah.
I was not happy about some of the stuff that they pulled out that clearly, clearly were things that I bought the console for. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, Microsoft is damn lucky that I stuck around for the things that they pulled out of the console that I bought into the console for. I bought into the console for the Snap, the little Snap stuff. I bought into the console because of Kinect. I bought into the console originally because I liked the idea of what they were going to do with physical media being installers and some of the things that they were going to try to do, and they got scared because because they couldn't explain everything right away. Their messaging sucked, and instead of honing the messaging, they blinked. And if you look at where we are now in gaming, and where a lot of games are online only, a lot of games, require you to have. If you have Game Pass, every Game Pass game requires you to have an internet connection to check in to make sure that you are a Game Pass subscriber. If you go offline, you pull your network connection, you can't play a Game Pass game. That's exactly what they were, and all they were trying to ask you to do in 2013 was have your system check in once every 24 hours. That's all they were asking you to do. And
I think that was too much. Once a week would have been fine.
yeah, but now
probably.
now you can't do it. You can't. You have to be live or you can't play. So
Right.
it's gone more draconian than what they were originally talking about. So
It was going that way since last gen. And I mean, even if you have physical, you still got to be online, even with the disc.
yeah. And
So-
Dan, don't get me started, Dan, on the new Xbox app. They updated the Xbox mobile app, and
yeah.
you can't. I went to go buy Dirt 5, couldn't do it.
Nope.
I can't find my achievements because I was all
Nope.
happy that earlier this afternoon, for the first time, I think in a very, very long time, I 1,000 the game. I went back to Jedi Fallen Order, and I actually got every achievement. And because I got one of them that I wasn't even looking at, I got by accident, and I'm like, well, crap, that was one that I wasn't even sure I could get. The rest of them I could get. So that, and I couldn't share that. I couldn't share that with anybody because I can't tweet it out, right? You can't tweet it out on the console. And I was like, hey, I'll look at it here. Couldn't find it. So it's like they're taking steps backwards even in the mobile app.
Have they said anything on that? I mean,
No.
No. I mean, I even, because I use the mobile app because I think Monkey's still in here, but I would talk with him and some of the other guys online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't even tell if I think I finally figured out that they did some sort of update, and I could see sometimes, but I can't tell if you're online and you're actually in a party chat or not, or if you're in a party of some sort. So and this is when they first brought this out. Since then, I've been able to see some people being in the party chat, but you got to go further into it, and for some reason that option isn't always there to click on it so you can see, hey, is so-and-so in a party? Who's in the party? Okay, I could join this party and go ahead and go in there and, hey, is it cool that I joined? What's going on? Or if it's one of the groups that I could just join regardless, anytime I want, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? And just kind of go from there. They're playing the game. I'm at work doing my thing, my earbud in the ear, and just do what I got to do. You know what I mean? And I'm part of the community again. But when they first did that update, you couldn't even do that. You couldn't see anything. So, and that's the worst part is sometimes they go too far and don't give you any explanation. It's like all of a sudden it was there. Wait a second, when did this happen? Now you're learning it all over again.
Yeah, the store being gone is crazy. That's just nuts.
That's annoying. Oh, Dan just said Game Pass games can be played offline if it's your home Xbox, as long as you connect every 30 days.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that upstairs. Maybe that's
but it has to be your home Xbox.
And maybe so the way I've got it set up is my console is not my home Xbox because
I think they should have the home Xbox should be home on the same local network or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be cool.
Because nowadays, people have more than one console. So even, and it's just annoying actually.
But I know what Mike's going with this because my second Xbox is my, obviously it's my Xbox, but it's my daughter's Xbox. You know what I mean? So that's my home console.
Mm-hmm.
The OG Xbox One is my home console. But I play on the series because I connect through it. You know what I mean? But at least this way, my daughter can play the Game Pass game. She can play any game I own.
Right.
Doesn't matter if she owns the game or not because I probably already own it anyway. But I'm also on the series where I can plug in. Same thing. I go to my friend's house on the other side of the state. I just log in. I don't have to worry about it. I have access to all my games. But that's the only time you have access to your games, unless it's your home console, when it doesn't matter if you're plugged in or not.
And that's why yeah, that's why my upstairs console where the kids are, that's the that's the home Xbox, so that I don't have to be logged into it for my kids to play games. That's and I'm always going to be logged in down here. So if Dan is right about that, and if you connect every 30 days on your home Xbox, maybe that's why I can't play it down here because it's not my home Xbox.
See, and that's there's a couple other people in the community that I've tried helping out, and like they're once I explain it to them, they're like, "How did I not understand this in the first place?" You know what I mean? It's
right
because they're like, "Well, I've got we got 4 Xboxes, and I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" You know, I said, "Just get two Game Pass subscriptions, one for you, one for the wife. Put those on the kids, but the kids can't change it unless they want to. You know what I mean? But you can set their accounts on both of them because they'll be on the home Xbox, which has full access, and you and your wife can interchange because you're logging in as per you on either one of those Xboxes in the other part of the house. So all 4 Xboxes have connection because you have 2 Game Pass services." And you know, just trying to walk them through. I'm like, no, do this here, this
right.
here, and all of a sudden it like clicks. They're like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
But it's simple. But even I was questioning it when they first brought this on because they used to have the family one, and then they got rid of that, and the family one would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of families that they could have done with one Game Pass or one Gold, whatever you want to call it, you know, Ultimate, Game Pass, something, and it would have been great. And if, like you said, Peter, if you can log it into your, like your address, you know what I mean, not just your ISP, but maybe your just something that you could say, okay, this is the house, everything that's connected here is good to go. So anything on this, you know, because your IP connection can change, so that would be a drag. But anything with your location, if you can set up your GPS location and verify with this, and that, I don't know, but somehow verify your house, so that way, no matter, you know, if you buy a new router, it doesn't matter. It's connected to your location.
Yeah, because now it's like, you know, Microsoft might miss some money too if you do game sharing with somebody, like, you know, not at the same house. I mean, so your friends is set up as your home Xbox.
Yeah.
So you share your games and all the other stuff. I mean, you know.
Yeah. No, that's true.
To me, that's
are you really
you know,
missing out though? If it gets you to play more games, buy more games, because now you're like, okay, you know what? I'm buying a game. On the next one, you buy the game, or I buy the game, you buy the
probably.
the
Maybe, I mean,
seasons.
you know, that's why Microsoft kind of promotes this, or at least it's definitely not cracking down on it.
Oh, I would think that they would. They're not going to.
But it would be nice if there's like a family and it's like, here are the gamer tags, you know, up to X amount, and I think that's kind of what their vision was, right? At one point in time. Oh yeah, here's the. Isn't this the segment, the Dirt 5 with from Digital Foundry and stuff?
No, I don't show Digital Foundry stuff here. This is this is just the Dirt. This is from Codemasters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, by the way, now 2K Codemasters.
Yeah.
Since they've been bought.
That sounds.
So, and you know, hey, back to trying to buy one of these consoles. I was reading, for some reason, GameStop was trending on my Twitter feed. They are people are camping out already for tomorrow, and what GameStop have said, there will be pretty much 2 PS5s and a minimum of 2 Xbox Series X's at each store. So that
Yeah.
man, that's gonna lead to fights. I mean,
No.
It's just not to me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy the Series X, but I'm not going to do that. And if I had to wait till next year to get one, then I would, because honestly, you're not missing out. Still playing on the PS4 or the One X
yeah,
on these games that are out right now. So
Yeah, they're built on the old SDK.
yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know why people get all crazy about that, but it's always been that way. Some people do it.
Yeah, and the same thing. It goes to new tech there's always going to be some sort of flaw somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your percentages are higher because it is new technology that's coming out, until they find out all these little tweaks that, oh, well, you know what, this is actually causing an actual issue. We need to make sure that this part of the manufacturing is corrected. Because I used to work in a manufacturing plant doing PC boards for motherboards. For monitors. I got an exit wound right there. They went through this fingers and came out there. So right across my heart, 25,000 volts.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, but that's what you do. You have machines that test these boards, but even the machines fail. You don't know until real life. And I mean, and this happened inside a self-contained unit, and it still arced out 12 inches to hit my fingers and come back in and hit. So we have, before he even gets to a live version where we test and see the frequencies and color and all the tuning that we were doing, there's a machine that you would set the board down and it would suck it in and have all these points on there, and it would test all the points to make sure that every piece was in right. That doesn't mean that every piece didn't fail. You know what I mean? You got all the capacitors, you got resistors, any of that stuff, even though it was good at that reading, once you put a live circuit on there, it could fail. And that's why we had to do the final testing. We would grab so many boards as we went to make sure it tested right for your quality control. But I mean, I was even on the assembly line at one point in time, putting those pieces in there repeatedly, same piece or the same couple pieces depending on where you sat, and you would just sit there over and over. You know what I mean? So human error will happen. If it goes through, if it didn't sit right, it goes through, it gets soldered in, but it's not a good solder. You get bad solder joints even, in the manufacturing process, and that's why you got to, they tear it open, look at the bottom, make sure that all the solder points are good. You got surface mounted devices, everything's even smaller. I mean, machines are doing a lot more now than they used to be, but you still have to have human interaction. So it's gonna happen.
Yep.
Next year, both consoles will have less issues because they will find out more stuff. There's many revisions sometimes when they, they'll replace a part or components. I mean, look at the Xbox boards right now. Your 1 terabyte or your 512 terabyte that you have in your on the actual motherboard, right? If you look, and I believe MVG opened it up too, you could take it out, swap it in. So if you have a Xbox, let's be realistic. No one's really going to do this, but let's say you have an Xbox Series S, you could take the Xbox Series X hard drive out, the internal drive, and then put it in an S, and then you're good to go. Now, who's going to do something like that? I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of money to throw away just to get that little card.
Yeah.
But it's, and that's where that's why I see a revision 4 years down the road. We're going to backtrack again, right? 4 years down the road, are going to see a revision where they could put a bigger memory card in there, and there you go. So now you got a 1 terabyte in your Series S, revision, whatever it's going to be, Series S Slim.
Right. Back. It goes back to the size of the 1X.
Right.
Mhm.
All right. So, in other news, this is so funny. I wanted to talk about this last week, and Wilmy was like, "Nah," so we skipped it. But moving on to another topic because we've hit 11 o'clock, and I do want to make sure people that have to work tomorrow can. I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on some of the Game Awards business that was going on, both in the nominations from the VGAs, and we just had the Golden Joysticks awards, which I think is what game. Who does the Golden Joysticks? That's give me a second. Had it on the tip of my tongue. The Games Radar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's tackle the VGAs first, because that's I want to know from not just you guys, but I want to know from the chat room. Stan's already in there. Sham, no bug snacks? Get the hell out of here. So let's turn that off. Let's get here, and we're gonna jump right into oh good, I've already got it. Cool, I've already got it up. We're gonna jump right into the Game of the Year category, and I now having played all the way through Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and going back and getting all the achievements and thousanding it, I have different thoughts. So, so thoughts on this, and so for me, real quick, first off, I think it's a foregone conclusion which one's going to win out of this list. It's Doom Eternal. So.
Really?
Well, no. I don't really think so.
Did y'all think Sekiro was going to win last year?
What was it up against?
Kojima's game?
Death Stranding?
Yeah, Death Stranding.
No. Actually, that's...
You know what I mean? I mean...
Yeah.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I don't think Doom Eternal is going to win, even though I played through that.
Yeah.
I think it's a foregone conclusion of this list. The Last of Us Part 2 is going to win this.
Everything points to it.
I see Ghosts.
I would love for Ghost to win. Of these games,
I think, personally, The Last of Us 2 was better.
I just...
Because Ghost of Tsushima, after the second world, so the beginning of the third map, the third map, I was already maxed out what I could. So it's like, third one was kind of the story was cool, but it's a little bit of drag.
I'm kind of with Mike Garvey. I have a feeling Animal Crossing is going to take it.
You think?
I think that game, because mass appeal that it's had, especially with a lot of these media streamers and influencers, and some of these a lot of these media people are they grew up with Animal Crossing, and I think that appeals to a lot of I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if The Last of Us 2 wins, of course, but I don't know. I think Animal Crossing is going to take it.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking Ghosts because they just released their, the co-op pack? So it's fresh in the mind again because it was hot when it came out. Mm-hmm. Now the expansion's hot again. So I think it's getting a lot more publicity there, whereas Animal Crossing was just hot and non-stop. So it really didn't have a dip until towards the end here. all these other games are starting to come out. The consoles were coming out. No one really was talking about Animal Crossing anymore. That's why I think Ghosts was still in the mindset, because it was a new drop for it to continue on, so new hype for it again.
I think among us hardcore, it would probably be either The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima. Of course, Mike, his Doom Eternal.
I was being facetious. I'm glad to see Doom Eternal on there, to be honest. But I mean, you guys know my criteria. At least Peter and Chris do. You guys know my criteria for a Game of the Year candidate. For me, it has to be a game that I've been so invested in that I will go and platinum. I platinum Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
And the reason now that I think Jedi Fallen Order got a snub on this, is, I mean, again, Jedi Fallen Order has grown on me so much that I have now gotten 1,000 on it, and I still want to go back and play it just to go and run around and knock out Empire, and go hack and slash.
It's a beautiful game.
It is a beautiful game. The story, to me, honestly, is better than any of the last three movies.
Yes, it was. Yep.
The ending of that game is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm not going to give it away, but
those boss fights are brutal, though, aren't they?
They are, until you some of them are. Now, I played on Jedi, and I played on Jedi Knight. So Dan's
better man than me.
Yeah, Dan's gonna make fun of me because Dan would have played it on Padawan mode. But
I tell you the truth, I played it on the normal mode. I don't know which one that was called. But when I got towards the end, where you had to fight one of the sisters, the main one, I was like, I'm not beating her. I'm going story mode. That's what I did, just so I could finish. I wanted to finish the story, and just I was more about the story.
See, I was right.
So are the Chivos tied to difficulty level or
no? Okay. And I'm gonna.
And typically, if that's the case, I'll just play like normal mode. I'm not gonna go extra easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that from now on.
I'm not punishing myself either.
I think it, because Doom didn't do that either, and I'm starting to wonder if, and neither did Ghost of Tsushima, to be honest with you. So as far as trophies goes, so I'm wondering if developers are backing off of chivoing for difficulty.
Maybe, especially if they don't stack. Holy cow, that's the worst. You play it on the hardest is like, or even a medium, and it's like, sorry, now you have to play the easy mode too, and it's like, oh fuck.
And those achievements, I mean, and trophies for Jedi Fallen Order were not easy. Because a lot of stuff is so hidden in that game that I'm not gonna lie. A couple of the last bit of things, I went and looked them up on a guide just to see, because I'm like, I can't be. Where am I missing? And so, but a game like that I would go back and play to get the rest of the achievements. And I'm not an achievement hunter, but that one, I was like, I have to go back and get them all. That's a game. That's a Game of the Year candidate for me. Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, my 3 platinums. Those are my Game of the Year candidates.
Well, now you know I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's like I just love the world. I love,
Yeah.
Cassandra. And I was like, so.
Yeah. Was that this year or was that last year? Odyssey. It was last year, wasn't it?
I think last year, yeah.
All right.
But here's the thing. I think I said this on Seasoned Gaming as well. Animal Crossing should not be on this list because the whole thing, like the first person who starts on that particular Switch, starts the island. That's the island, and that's the main person who brings all the events into motion. Like, my daughter started up. I mean, I helped her start it up. So I thought, like, okay, she's not playing it anymore, and I keep playing my own character and stuff, and nothing was happening. I played for 2 freaking weeks, and it's like, why is nothing happening? And I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm not setting anything in motion. So I had to play as her account to set stuff in motion in order for me to, to progress. I mean, that's like... That's what Nintendo is so backwards. the online stuff, it's so backwards. It's like, yeah,
It is.
that's my Nintendo frustration.
It is. I agree with that. That's why I'm
So-
surprised it's even on here. But I think it's on here because of popularity.
Oh, it's very popular. But I mean, you need to have a switch a person, or because yeah.
Should a remake be on here?
No.
I don't
I
think it should.
I have a problem
don't-
with Final Fantasy being on here.
Yeah, I
think
think
it should
all the
get
remakes should not
recognized.
really be on there. It's like
For what they did, but
they could be mentioned, like, hey, here's some cool ones, but they shouldn't.
or have a category for if there's
remakes,
enough
remasters,
remasters out there in the year.
Right.
Have a category for it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, go ahead.
but I've heard some people say that there were some things that change and how it looks is enough for them to like it's a new game. For a lot of people, it's a new game to them. But I don't know.
yeah,
So
I
if-
mean,
I don't know. Good.
when it comes to Final Fantasy, they added more content to it. They redesigned the graphics. There was more to the story. You found out more stuff that you didn't find out from the original game. So this remake is a little bit different of a remake than normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of the remakes that we have now are like a half-assed remaster.
Right.
You know, this one here is a little bit different, and it's only one section. It's not even the full game.
I know.
So
Well, that's another issue.
So we're putting half games on here now.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. Go back to King David half
Last
game.
year, Resident
Right.
Evil 2 was remastered was on there.
And is Hades on here as the token indie game?
I guess, which a lot of
Yeah.
people are disappointed because Ori, any
Yeah.
game should have made it in there. Ori should have.
Yeah.
See,
Hades
and
just came out, and I know it's real popular on Switch. Had a lot of influencers, a lot of people talking good about it. The indie gamer, he was playing it. I thought it looked cool, but I don't know. I don't know if it's game of the year
Right.
material.
No, I think what it does is it brings that's what I have an issue with is that games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, and I will put Doom Eternal to an extent because I don't remember that game being very critically. I mean, it sits if you look at Metacritic, it sits at 88.
Yeah.
So it's not you're not talking about a 90 plus game. Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, where does hold on Ghost of Tsushima?
I think
Get
it
like
was
an 88 or something.
It
Yeah.
sits at 83.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
83.
Yeah. So you got a game that sits at 83 on here.
That's almost a bad game on the IGN scale.
Well, I know, right?
Anything below 8 is
If-
trash.
I was gonna say if it's an Xbox game, it is.
Well, that by
Trash.
definition it is.
Well, yeah. I let's see. What did Final Fantasy VII Remake sat at 87? What did Jedi Fallen Order sit at? Jedi Fallen Order sat at 79.
Yeah,
So
trash.
I don't know.
And that's odd. Jedi Fallen Order got shafted twice.
It
Yeah.
did.
They got shafted
Yeah.
last year. They got shafted this year. And you notice how the date moved again on when the
Yes.
cutoff date is.
Mhm.
And it's like this is why if you're gonna make the best, the 2020 Game Awards, it should be in 2021. Wait for every
Yes.
game
Yes.
in 2020 to come out because what's going on now is just like Fallen Jedi Order. It was the hottest game, but it missed the cutoff.
right.
And because it was so far into the beginning of the next season, I guess, of the year,
Yeah.
that nobody's looking at it. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
and yeah,
There's
So
other games
Cyberpunk
that got
gonna get screwed?
Cyberpunk.
You know.
but they're
Unless
getting
it's
pushed
so
back.
extremely good and at least like a long-lasting impression, then I could. But otherwise, it's like out of sight, out of mind.
Because
Right.
Animal Crossing came out. Oh no, it did come out this year,
It did.
beginning of the year.
But Cyberpunk ironically, Cyberpunk comes out the day of the show.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me. I mean,
Yeah.
the show should be, first off, the show should be in January. That's number one.
Yes.
Because they need to. Cyberpunk should not. Cyberpunk's gonna hit that weird cutoff, and then next year, no one's gonna be thinking of Cyberpunk.
Well, what other games are going to be able to compete against Cyberpunk that are due next year?
Halo Infinite, say it.
Yeah. I mean, you got the Medium. The Medium's going to come out, what, February?
Yeah, I think if I recall.
Yeah.
And depending on how impactful that game is, but that could get lost too.
Yeah.
Depending on what else
It
comes
also,
out.
the style might not be enough to gather that popularity. Right now is because it's 2 games in one. It's something that we haven't had or seen, and this will be one of the first games to utilize more of the true power of what the series can do.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like you said, it may shine fast and bright and dim out early.
See,
It depends on the games.
And I think it depends, like you say, how fresh in the mind. I mean, I think Doom Eternal had a boost from going into Game Pass and the announcement of Microsoft buying Bethesda. Hades, I never even heard of until this. It is weird.
When did it come out? Last month? I mean, it seems like in the last 30 days.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
It just came out.
Yeah, Italian Clowns and I did an interview a few weeks ago, and Hades was one of the topics before this was even nominated.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought it was in Game Pass. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go back on and download it. I'm looking around like, where is it? They're like, it's not in Game Pass. I guess I'm not playing the game.
Yeah.
And by the way, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, 90. So Ori actually is higher rated than almost every one of these except for The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 is the one that, let's see. Last of Us 2. Why is it not even showing up?
I mean, when I look at these games, it should be like Ori, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2. I don't know what else is like.
That's it.
I think
that's
Jedi Fallen
mentioning it.
Jedi Fallen
should be in there.
Yeah,
I think
Last
Jedi
of Us,
Fallen because of the acting too.
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2, 93 Metacritic. So if you're going by critics and you're going by popularity, I don't know where Hades fits in. Like I said, I think that's just that. I mean, if you're gonna do an indie game, I think you do Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of Hades even before it was on this list.
I had never heard of it.
So,
Recently, it's been.
I only heard because of the indie gamer, but otherwise it's like.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Hades is trending recently with streamers, influencers.
Mm-hmm.
So did that influence their decision on the people who made the votes and not like, Hades is great. I just played it. Let's put it in there.
I don't know.
And forgot about Ori. I mean, Ori improved on the first one, right? And everybody was saying it. Oh, that's better than the first. So it's a shame that, regardless if it's tied with Xbox or whatever, it's a shame to that studio.
Well, look at Disco Elysium. Everybody was like, "What?"
Right.
You know what I mean? It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends on the circles we're in. We might not be in those circles that are heavily influenced by having Hades in there. I don't know.
Maybe. So.
Well, you're not getting Halo Infinite next year, especially if you have that one streamer that was on.
Oh yeah, that went on a potty break.
She's gonna be in the restroom.
Yeah.
She won't vote on.
My god. That's horrible. I mean,
that's the type of people that are probably could be voting on this stuff. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person to sit there and say, well, you got people out there who just kind of shade on Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I hope she never ever comes back. You know what I mean? Let her do her thing, whatever.
Not on an
But
Xbox show.
no, I don't care whose show it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're just in general judging, or doing a discussion with an award show, there shouldn't be any shade. I don't care if you're shading on PlayStation or Xbox. There shouldn't be any shade like that. Talk about what you got to talk about, and if it's not your thing, excuse yourself from that conversation. Say, look, I'm not a fan of Xbox. I don't support them.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm not a fan of Sony. I don't support them. I'm out of here. Put me on the opposite one that I support. I am a creator. I am an influencer. I am whatever they want to call themselves, and I support this brand. This is my brand. So this is where I believe I should be on the topics. If when you're talking something like that, and you're like, "Oh, is this where we're going?" I'm going to go use the restroom while you guys are talking about this. I think part of it was a ploy of, look at me, I got attention because I'm shading them, and she did get a lot of negativity out of it.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
So, but I mean, she drew it on herself.
Yeah.
Sometimes even bad press is good press,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, regardless, I still like watching the Game Awards show, even if I think there's some shade towards Xbox. But I think overall, Keeley does a good job producing the show. I think last year was enjoyable, especially for the fact that Xbox, surprised us. And
True.
I'm excited to see what Xbox could show, even Sony.
But one thing I don't like about a show is like they have those categories, and it's like behind the scenes is like, oh yeah, they also announced the winners for this is this category, and it's like
how many categories can you have?
Yeah. Well, and then you have those weird categories like racing games. And it's like they put soccer cars in there or whatever.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
That could have been in the competitive sports section. It could have been, so many different places than racing. That's not racing. It just happens to be a vehicle playing soccer.
Right, exactly.
It's
Dan said he
figured.
Dan says he figured that Keeley would cancel the show between COVID and no Kojima game.
Yeah.
All right.
So, well, in between games, Kojima could be his co-host.
Or he might be showing Kojima's next game.
He could.
Maybe tease it.
Yeah. As he brings them out on his
Stadia
back.
exclusive.
Stadia exclusive. All right, so let's run through a couple of these other ones. I'm not going to go through all of them because I really don't care who the best esports athlete is. But there are a couple of
any esports athlete.
I don't either. There are a couple of interesting picks for others. Best action adventure. So Ori is in this. Jedi Fallen Order is in this.
Ori it's almost like Ori is lost.
I know.
What's this action adventure? It's
But what if Ori wins that and wins
Yeah.
the indie game category, but doesn't win, but then get nominated for Game of the Year?
Right. I know. Well, the question is so do we think that The Last of Us 2 is going to sweep sweep all these categories too? I mean,
well, the thing is, if you think it's going to sweep in the Game Awards, it does not, right? Isn't that always the case?
Not always, because if you remember,
So we thought about last year's.
Red Dead Redemption 2 swept everything and lost Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it could work the opposite way. Last of Us 2 could sweep all the other categories, and then Hades could be Game of the Year, or Animal Crossing. But this is a tough category, too, for Ori to be in because, well, once again, half the games are Sony games. And see, Spider-Man Miles Morales just came out, and it's here.
Yeah.
See, this is where I think the having a show in December is again not the right time to have it because
Correct.
how are you going to have Miles Morales and Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
Here's the thing: only reviewers,
but not Cyberpunk?
could have played this. So not the
Right.
general public, right?
Right. That's the other point. Is it right? Who's playing Miles Morales? Not the scalpers.
The people who got a PS5 preview or review unit as well.
Right.
Well, it's on PS4 too, so.
It is.
Yeah, but did
No.
people really play that on a PS4?
All right.
Yeah.
So
Definitely, it's a review because
who do you think? Who do you guys think takes this?
Well,
last.
because Ori's a Microsoft game, I'm going to say they're going to lose out on that.
Also, to me, it seems almost more like it's almost like a more platform than an action adventure.
Well,
It's-
adventure. I think
especially compared with the other games that are on here.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think Spider-Man.
That's not a bad call, Peter.
I would say Last of Us.
All right, Chris.
I would go with Fallen Order.
I'd like to see Fallen Order, but my heart says Fallen Order, my head says Last of Us. Best art direction. If Ori doesn't win this, then this entire Game Awards is rigged. I will mail in ballots for Ori and the Will of the Wisps if that's what it takes.
Yeah, Ori for me, I mean, the others like Last of Us. I mean, they're beautiful games, but Ori is more of an art style for me.
Oh, Anthem says even over Ghosts. Yes, there's something.
Ghost is pretty.
Ghost has the Kurosawa mode though. I could go Ghost. I could go Ghost if Ori doesn't win. I think Ori for its art direction.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us 2. I'm sorry, it doesn't scream art direction to me. It screams technical.
No. Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, I could see I could see that having an art style. So if Ori doesn't win it, I would go with Ghost. I would be fine with Ghost. Peter?
Yeah, I think Ori.
Dread?
I'm going to have to agree with Mike here. Because, I mean, you're right. Ori, with the art direction, you get the feelings, the emotions. You know what I mean? And then Ghost has the modes,
Ghost is like a movie.
Mode, yeah, and that's why I kind of give it the art direction too.
Yeah.
I mean, Hades, yeah, it has its own thing. Even Final Fantasy, you know what I mean? It has an art style to it, but I'm looking at something that's a little bit more unique that you can just look at and interpret the feel and the emotions, and that's why I say Ori.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's more to it, but like you said, The Last of Us doesn't feel like it. It feels like a technical
it's more
thing.
like a movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't do anything that a movie can do. But I mean, I give them props, but I think Ghost of Tsushima is kind of like a mix, right? Some of the things that they do, the environment, has some unique art direction. And Hades is a beautiful game. It's from what I saw when Indy was playing. So, but yeah,
Feels like The Last of Us doesn't even belong in this.
No,
this category
I don't.
at all.
I agree with that.
yep.
I agree with that. I think it's getting. I think it's there because it's. I think it's there because it's The Last of Us 2.
I would have seen the one game. Dang it, Raji. Another indie game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I think just the way they did all that, Even Streets of Rage 4. Just the art, the way they,
Yeah. All right. Best audio design. Now this is an interesting one. I don't know if this also means like there wasn't another one. There wasn't another category for. Well, there's a category for. I'm sorry. There's another category for score and music. So this is audio design. This isn't necessarily soundtrack.
yeah.
This is more, the sound effects, your technical surround design, things like that. So, given that, I got to go with Doom Eternal. And I'll tell you, of all the games, like I played Ghosts, I played a little bit of Resident Evil 3. I know what The Last of Us Part 2 is based on The Last of Us, what Naughty Dog does with those games. But Doom Eternal is so crazy with its audio. And I'm not talking about the soundtrack. I'm just talking about the straight up audio. From the guns to the monsters. And if you play that game with a headset, it is absolutely bonkers. So I would go Doom Eternal on this. Although I don't have a frame of reference for Half-Life Alyx, being that that's a VR game. I imagine the sound design in that's probably got to be pretty damn impressive. So that's mine. Chris popped out for a minute, so Peter.
Last of Us 2.
Okay. All right. You guys can expand if you want. I don't think I'm the only one that.
No, I mean it's the audio was fantastic.
Okay.
I mean it's
no, that's fine.
just like yeah.
So okay, Dread.
Seeing that I really don't know either about Half-Life Alyx, I'm actually going to flip a coin between Ghost and Half-Life. Are you serious? Who even talked to you? Shut up. Smartphones and Bixby and all this stupid stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't.
I haven't even activated it and it still wants to pop up. I said flip a coin. I didn't say I need you to tell me which one it is. Maybe I should use that as my predictor, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't me that guessed it wrong. It was my phone. So technically, I was still on the right.
Jesus.
8-ball says.
Yeah, like I said, I think with the VR aspect, I think that it's Valve. I think that they would do something good when it comes to that. So I'm just guessing here, but like I said, flip a coin between Ghost and Valve, Half-Life. I agree with you on Doom Eternal. Definitely wear headphones. Resident Evil 3, I don't know. I really didn't feel. I don't know what it was about it. And Last of Us, I don't know. So I'm still going to go with the two that I said, Alyx and Ghost.
Okay. All right.
Half-Life Ghost.
Chris is back.
I haven't played any of these, so I can't really say for sure. But from what I've seen, I think Ghost has a good chance on this. Doom Eternal.
Okay.
From what I've seen.
Dan said Doom Eternal. Too in the chat. The guys in the chat, please.
I trust anybody that's a big fan of Bugsnax. Always trust Big Snack gamers.
Oh. Dan said, did Doom Eternal get the series upgrade yet? I think it did. I beat it, so I don't have a desire to go back to it, unfortunately. Okay.
Later, Anthem.
Oh, good night, Anthem. I didn't see that. Sorry, he said he got a bounce. He said Doom on this one, too.
Yeah.
So, All right. Let's stay on that and best score in music.
Ah,
All right.
easy.
So I'm going Ori and the Will of the Wisps on this. That is a soundtrack that I rip, that I find and try to rip to my hard drive. That's something I can just listen to all day. Doom Eternal has a great soundtrack, but it's a little clunky for me as far as overall. But Ori's just to die for. So, Chris?
I would go with Ori on this.
Okay. Peter?
Last of Us Part 2. I've listened to that soundtrack so many times, I can't even tell you how many
Wow.
times. I mean,
Okay.
Gustavo Santo, whatever his name is, Santo Lala,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Okay.
I only like that he did most of the tracks on that soundtrack, and those are the best. I created a playlist and I removed the 3 or so that he did together with somebody else, or that was done by somebody else. They're not as good, but those are like, man, when I hear it, it's like I relive those moments in the game. I just get
Okay.
goosebumps. It's phenomenal.
All right. Dread?
Well, I'm flipping a coin again on this one because I mean you got Doom. I mean, come on, it's Doom. You know, but the problem is I'm not drag racing anymore, so I don't need Doom music. So the coin is going to end up head side up with Ori.
Okay.
guess-
Pong said Doom. Oh.
I mean, the Ori soundtrack is good, but it doesn't give me the same,
Yeah,
as The
but
Last of Us.
I'm
Fair
also
enough.
thinking of it where I got my daughter in the car, and we listen to a lot of music together. With the family as we drive around and stuff. So I think overall for everybody's enjoyment, Ori would be a better choice for our family.
Okay. All right. So, moving into, let's see, best game direction. All right. Now this one, I gotta go Ghost of Tsushima. Just a really cool story. Very engaging side missions. Had me riveted to the end. Went for the platinum, and that says a lot about a game for me. So I'm gonna go Ghost of Tsushima. Chris?
Again, I haven't played anything, so I think it's a toss-up between Ghosts or The Last of Us 2. Just from what I've seen, from you guys playing, others, they both have a impact on, how they were directed.
Okay. Peter?
Last of Us Part 2.
I gotta guess that.
I mean, the whole story and stuff and how it was all intertwined. Ah, man, it's fantastic. Love it.
All right. Dread.
Hades. No, I'm kidding. I'm at a toss-up again. Ghost. Because, and it's funny, right? Because when I first saw Ghost, I gave it some crap because I was like, who's going to follow this wind thing? Or you're going to follow a fox, to get to your objective. You know what I mean? And the way that they've done all
one
this.
of them.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like, the way that they've done this works out great. And I mean, look at all the controversy that Last of Us 2 got. You know what I mean? So, I mean, when you talk about game direction, they took these games and they made, and granted, I didn't mean literal for Ghost for game direction, but, there you go. But they took these games and they took them somewhere in a different, unique way, each to their own. So it's definitely going to be a toss-up between Last of Us and Ghost. I mean, I'd almost say I'd almost have to give the nod more towards The Last of Us, as much as I don't want to. Because I feel like Peter keeps on saying Last of Us, and I keep on saying Ghost, so it's like it's a back and forth between us.
Yeah.
But I think that it's gonna squeak out by a hair. Is gonna be Last of Us.
I think it's going to as well. I just would like to see Ghost. But again, heart says Ghost, head says Last of Us. Let's see. I hate this category so much. Best sports and racing. Why? Why can't? Why?
Yeah, why can't it be racing and
Why
then
can't-
sports? And some sports is not. I mean, some racing is not really like sports.
Right.
Depends what it is.
And there's plenty of racing games. I mean, you had
There
Hot
are.
Shot, you had
Yep.
Art of Rally,
Yep.
Dirt 5?
Dirt 5 is on here.
Dirt 5, you got
Oh.
F1.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
WRC.
there it is.
Yep, WRC 5.
Mm-hmm.
And F1 is on here.
Or something else too. I'm trying to think, but
Or WRC 9, I think is what. I'm trying to remember which.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
What the
Hard to
current.
track.
Yeah, WRC 9 came out in September of this year. So.
But then also
yeah.
sports, and then you have Tony Hawk. I mean,
Right.
is it really
It is a
sports?
sport.
It is. Yeah,
But I
It's
mean-
an
Yeah,
Olympic
I
sport.
mean, it's a.
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
you're not really competing like that within this
But
game
it's-
like that.
But here's the thing. Okay, let's use this as a perspective.
Uh-huh.
FIFA, basketball, Tony, right? They're all physical sports
Mhm.
in the sense that you're using. Okay, don't get me wrong. I know driving is a physical sport, but it's more of a machine versus more of you utilizing more of your body and mind versus
Some of the
these-
drivers would disagree with you because they they have to work out. And,
No, trust me, I know.
Have
I
to be fit.
like I said, I used to drag race. I know.
Yeah.
So there's a distinct difference between like a team sport like that versus a mechanical sport when it comes to driving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do still have to have both the mental and physical capabilities to do these sports, if you want to call it that way. But I look at motorsports differently because of this, but when you're looking at like a team sport when it comes to like soccer, there's a little bit of difference there. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but there should be a difference. We're all in agreement that why do we they should have racing, and they should have like sports for athletics.
Because you can have Major League
Yeah.
Baseball here. You can have Madden.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How is MLB the
You know.
Show not on here? How
I
is
know. Yeah.
how is
Yeah.
the new PGA Tour not on here? How is Madden not on here? Why? Because there's not
Well,
room for it.
Does Madden really belong on there, seeing that's 2019 version? Just
Well, I mean, but consider too. So, Dirt 5, WRC 9, MotoGP 20, Project Cars 3, F1 2020. Those are your top racing games of 2020, and you don't even get a chance to get Project Cars 3 in there.
I know. So
You know?
that's a disservice to those studios.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
really
why.
is.
That's
been
that's
complaining
why
about this for
I
the
try to
last-
look at it as like a machine sport versus a team sport, or like. I mean, do they have racing in Olympics? Like when it comes to car racing
Nope.
of any type? I mean that's kind of how I was trying to lean for.
Hey, what
like,
about I don't know. I thought about Tour de France, but that's Tour de France, but that's still
That's
cycling.
but that's
more athletics?
yeah.
Than
Yeah.
the machine, and that's that. I mean, well, stripping is going to be in the Olympics soon too.
UFC
But it's not there.
4.
It's an
Pole
official
dancing. Yeah.
pole dancer, yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
be physical fit for that.
But anyway, yeah. So I mean, that's why I'm trying to differentiate it. Like, it's a machine sport. It needs, if you're going to call it a sport, okay, it's more of a machine sport, versus you and a ball or you and a board. You know what I mean? There's a little bit more.
Right.
You have to have a different type of team for the way that you're doing this. When it comes to cars, you're changing out tires. You have to make sure you have the right pressure. You have to make sure that the weather is right and you're ready for that, because depending on what the weather is, the track, the heat, if rain, anything like that, if the track is not really a well prepped track, that makes all the difference in tires and speed and control. I used to go on a non-prepped, and that's what they called it, a non-prep street setup for the drag racing. And when we did that, the first few runs actually had traction. After that, it was like it was gravel, because you had tire pieces all over the place. You as you progressed throughout the night, you learned to not keep going, because once you find out what side of the track was good and to pick that side, you got your best time within the first couple races. After that, you just get out of there. You move on, because you're just learning how to control a little bit better the car and see what the car can do and push it. But it's yet again, it's not a non-prepped track. There's a difference when you're talking about Olympic sports. Training, you still have to be fit. There's so many similarities, but yet again, there's so many differences.
Yeah.
Don't give me your. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we've been saying this the past few years. There's plenty of these games that you can have separate the categories and give these studios the recognition they deserve, the chance to win an award.
I agree.
See, I could see putting Rocket League up against FIFA 21 or NBA 2K21. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would make sense. And then that way you could say, okay, well, this part makes sense because it's more designed as a team sport. It's just basically a car instead of a human. You're playing soccer.
Right.
Separate those two into two different categories and move on. And I think you will have better numbers when it comes to these devs to showcase them, for the talents that they have for each respective category if they were separate.
Agreed.
If I was going to pick one out of these, I'd probably pick
Oh yeah, right.
Tony Hawk. Just because of the attraction, people excited. They know another one's coming out.
And
New
again,
Tony Hawk game.
But it's a
this
remake.
is a remaster.
It is a
remaster.
remaster.
It's not even a remake. It's a remaster.
It's a remaster. Yeah.
So
So it's either that or Dirt 5.
I have to abstain. I haven't played a single one of these. Knowing what Peter said about Dirt 5, I would pick Dirt 5, but I'm going off of his.
Yeah, the tracks are really cool.
And Peter played 20 F1, so.
No, I didn't play the. I
was
didn't
gonna
play
say, I
F1,
didn't-
Oh, you didn't play
2020.
2020?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've played some other ones, but
Yeah.
All right.
Well, FIFA
I've seen
20
2K21. It looks really cool, just
It
from
does. Yeah.
eye candy side
Yeah.
of view. That one looks really awesome. But
Well, F1 and FIFA are games I really wouldn't play. I mean, maybe F1 I would try out, but I wouldn't play them. But I would still judge them for the fact of I know what soccer is. You know what I mean? I'd still judge them based on that. I mean, Madden, it's a 2019 game. If you haven't played it, you don't know. You're going to tell me you don't know how to play Madden? Madden's Madden. Soccer's soccer. Basketball's basketball. They haven't changed much.
No, they have not.
You got extra sweat. Okay, well, I don't see the sweat beating down, forming, and dripping. You know what I mean? They're still not there when it comes to graphics. And you're going to push graphics on me to tell me that this is why this game's better?
Yeah.
It's still the same game.
yeah,
Dirt 5, to me, seems like they've pushed the boundaries. Because before, I mean, don't get me wrong, yet again, there's a hardcore rally group out there. I mean, there's hardcore fans when it comes to this. But in the overall scheme of things, was Dirt really that popular? not until now.
Right.
A lot more people are talking about it now than they ever have before. You know,
They
it was out there, but like I knew what it was, but a lot of people are like, how did we get the Dirt 5?
I think the
Yeah.
timing of this game
Yeah.
is
Right.
is
The
spot
whole
on.
120 and
The 120 new generation, this
Yeah.
game is being showcased.
yeah.
Look,
Yep.
they also got your freeform track that you could build your track. You could do all these stunts. You got so many different options that they threw in there.
Yeah, that looked
There's
cool.
a lot of stuff. It's not just one thing.
Well, and using the Onrush issue, the Onrush engine for this was a good move.
So yeah, that's why Dirt 5 is going to get it for me. I mean, as much as I love Tony Hawk, it feels like it was a flash in the pan.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a remake. It's a remaster. I can't co-sign a remaster. So, all right. This one will be very quick because I think I know the answer to this one already. Best narrative. Yeah, I think. Ooh, what is it? Oh, that's the.
The Hawk.
Oh.
Nice.
That's awesome.
No.
But I mean, like I said, flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Should have got them all. Just
All right. So best narrative. I'm thinking everybody's probably in sync. Last of Us 2.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna. Shame that Dreadp00l's not in here, but
Oh, I know.
Well, ideally, if it was me, I don't get why 13 Sentinels in there, but ideally, Jedi Fallen Order would hit every single category, even sports and racing, and win it all.
Yeah.
You know, ideally, but that's
Yeah.
because it's Star Wars. I
Yep.
mean, maybe we'd give Squadrons sports and racing, but yeah, you're right. Narrative, it's gonna have to be Last of Us.
Yeah, I agree. All right. That was an easy one. Let's see what other ones are worth actually looking at here. Because I mean, I don't really care about innovation and accessibility. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
Accessibility in The Last of Us 2 is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people that are like, blind and stuff that can play this game due to accessibility dip it, colors and other stuff.
But not knowing anything about it. I mean, I don't know what makes Grounded accessible or Assassin's Creed accessible.
They made Grounded probably because of the whole
spiders.
the spiders that you can dial those back to just
Yeah.
little blobs.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Which
I've
is
never seen a
for
vicious
color
blob
blinding.
than that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And they do talk about. It's weird that they point out. Don't get me wrong. It's nice, but it is weird that they pointed out arachnophobia. And maybe just because that's the main bad thing in the game.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So, I really don't know what game would win this.
Last of Us 2.
What do they mean by accessibility?
They don't
Just
say.
certain features that help people that might have. I think was it Watch Dogs or Valhalla that had something to where it could be played in a certain mode for someone who's almost color or blind, but they could see the shadows.
Yeah, the Last of Us has a ton of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have so many, it's like ridiculous. It's
Yeah, because doesn't Grounded also have the colorblind mode?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it does. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I'm going to go with Grounded just because I don't want to go with Last of Us. I'm just going to admit that right now.
Okay.
Watch Dogs is too oily, as we've stated
It's
before.
too oily.
I don't even know what accessibility it has. Probably some colorblind stuff, I would
Yeah, I
assume.
didn't notice.
Don't know.
Okay.
I guess either Grounded. I'd go Grounded. But I know The Last of Us has some stuff in there that does help people.
Right.
Didn't they have something in there with to do with violence too? Like I can't remember. Maybe they don't show blood or something. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skip the violent scene.
Yeah, skip the violence. Yeah, no violence.
There should be a category for the best spoiled, like Back from the Dead. Best narrative spoiled, which Last of Us 2 was definitely spoiled.
Yeah. All right. Best performance. Now this, this may as well just be best Sony performance because it's all Sony plus Hades.
Yeah.
I'm imagining.
Jin Sakai.
Yeah, I'm not going with Jin Sakai. Don't get me wrong. As much as I like the story, Jin
he was like, that's good though.
He was good, but he was a little more vanilla than, I mean.
Well, did you have the Japanese Jin Sakai or the?
I had
the
Japanese.
English
I had Japanese Jin Sakai.
Okay, that might change the outcome.
Yeah.
That's of that you would pick.
I would probably have picked Ellie.
I think Ellie in the first Last of Us was better than this one.
Yeah? Back from the Dead said, what if you had arachnophobia and you were terrified by the Blob movie?
Right.
All right.
Pixel.
I don't know. Not have played Last of Us 2 yet. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I don't know. Chris, what do you think?
None of them. I'm going with Jedi Fallen Order. And I'm going with the guy that played the main character and what's her name, the supporting, the one that played kind of like his mentor.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I thought she was great.
I thought she was great. I thought Grease was great.
Yeah, the whole crew, I think was a good.
Deborah Wilson was. Yeah. So Deborah Wilson was Cora. Cameron Monaghan was Cal.
Yeah.
So if you remember, the thing I remember him most from was Gotham.
Yeah, the Joker.
Yeah.
No, again, they're getting shafted. You know.
Agreed. They're very much getting shafted. I
haven't played The Last of Us 2, so, but from what I've seen, like when Peter and Frankie and all that people that have played, Coop, they really enjoyed that game. So I'm not surprised if either one of those. I'm sure, and playing Spider-Man. What's the name that's playing Miles Morales? He did a good job. So I don't know.
I'm interested in Peter's pick on this because he's played.
Yeah.
Because he's
I'm
played.
gonna say Jin Sakai.
All right.
The English one. I mean, that's fantastic. It's really connected me to that story.
That's important.
It's really
Okay. Dread?
I'm gonna send my mail-in ballot, and it's gonna be Cal.
You gonna write in your mail-in ballot?
You write in Cal?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write in Cal. But like you guys said, they're getting shafted where they shouldn't be shafted like this. I mean, I understand. Star Wars doesn't need to be everywhere, but come on now.
Yeah. I mean, better than Hades.
Yeah. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't.
I just looked a little bit at the game, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little too overhyped. Should not be in any of the categories.
Yeah.
I'd have had Ben Burtt here, too, from Jedi Fallen Order, as the voice of BD-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. By the way, I also thought it was really cool that they brought Forrest Whitaker back to be Saul Guerrera in that game.
Yeah.
So there were so many good. There was so much good dialogue and good. see. I
Yeah.
the Jedi Fallen Order really did get the shaft. No, I didn't even realize. Oh my God, I didn't even realize who played Grease. Daniel Roebuck. You guys remember him from U.S. Marshals and The Fugitive?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
see.
What's up, HR Bomber?
The Bomber. What's up, man?
What's up,
Dan
brother?
said Laura Bailey.
So, the Dan says Lord Bailey.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm getting angry just going through these now. All right, best indie game. This is a good one. This is a good one. Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. That's a toughie. You know, from an overall standpoint of popularity, Fall Guys came out of nowhere and just captured everybody. Mm-hmm. I might have to give that nod to Fall Guys. So.
Well, let me ask you this, guy. I saw this on Twitter. Is Fall Guys considered an indie studio because they had about 230 people working on this?
Well, I think there could. I think
and they had a decent publisher that.
Who published it?
Devolver.
Yeah.
Devolver though.
And Devolver did carry on.
Yeah. Mediatronic is the. I think when they say indie developer, I think they just mean it's not one of the big five.
Like the game is not considered a.
Yeah, it's not.
AAA.
It's not right. It's not made by Ubisoft. It's not made by an internal studio from a publisher. You know, like Ori, which I don't know why Ori should be on here because technically, Ori.
Yeah.
Shit.
Because the first Ori was on Best Indie Game, and Moon Studio is not owned by Microsoft, even if the IP is. But I'm going to go with Fall Guys on this for what's here, even though I think Ori should get it.
I think the only reason why Fall Guys is popular is because it was free.
Could be.
On PS4 it was, yeah.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good game. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. But I think the bigger popularity is it was accessible to more people to get into it to play it. So, but I'm going with Carry On.
Okay. All right, Chris?
I'm going with Carry On. I love playing Fall Guys, no doubt. But Carry On, there's a lot of cool things that it did that probably something like that you couldn't do back in the day with that art style, but it still had that cool feel of it. You know, the way you played the creature, and then you played as a human also. There was two, you know, and it had an interesting ending. So.
Okay. I want to welcome in Misuko. Looks like a new viewer.
Masuko. Welcome. Masuko has been what show? I think Masuko's been on the Stubcast.
Okay.
And Stub always gets Masuko's names wrong.
So I hope I got it right.
Yep. Appreciate you.
Welcome. We are still going. It's midnight, but we're still going. We're gonna try to get through. You know what? I'm gonna dump the golden joysticks till next week.
Yeah.
Because it's already we had such a. But this is what happened to us last week, and this is what happens to us sometimes. Is we had such good conversation earlier in the night that we didn't even get to this till 11 o'clock. So, best ongoing game. Interesting that Rainbow Six Siege is not on this list. And finally, neither is Overwatch. I think Overwatch is, but neither is Sea of Thieves. And that's Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 4, there's a number of different ongoing games that should be on this list. Apex Legends, obviously, good choice. Destiny 2, good choice. Warzone, and no
Isn't
PUBG.
it the second year of that one? Warzone? I thought it was this year, no?
When did
Maybe not.
Warzone come out?
Maybe it was last year.
last
Did it
year.
come? Well, because wasn't last year
The
the
end of
last
last year.
Yeah,
Maybe.
hold on. Call of Duty Warzone. Let's see. Well, did it make so? Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that a first-year game should not be on here. No, Call of Duty Warzone came out March 10th. So how's it still an
So it
ongoing?
cannot be ongoing. How can it
Right.
be ongoing?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
hasn't-
still in beta.
Right.
Yeah,
It's-
Sea of Thieves should still be on there, or
Definitely. I mean,
It's part of the. All right. So
a lot
this
of these
says,
have more like seasons, you know?
Yeah. Well, this
Like
says.
Apex Legends and Fortnite. It's just like, I don't know, it's almost like a different category, like
Well,
No Man's
apparently
Sky.
we're in.
No Man's
Apparently
Sky
we're
and
in.
Sea of Thieves are like, you know, kind of the same thing where they keep on
Mhm.
adding stuff to it and
Yeah.
the game lives
Yeah.
lives on. Not
Yeah.
those seasoned kind of thing.
Agreed. And like Rainbow Six Siege, to my knowledge, was still selling. I
Yeah.
mean, but Warzone.
Best ongoing game, Madden 20.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's
That's
see.
awesome.
So Bomber says that Apex or Destiny 2 will get it. Pong Soul says Destiny 2, and Back from the Dead says he's got over 3,000 hours in Destiny 2. So
Yeah.
and Infinite
Infinite.
just showed up. It's a good thing he didn't actually make it. He said he passed out.
I don't blame you. I almost passed out
Oh.
too.
I almost did too if it wasn't for my sister-in-law waking me up.
Best ongoing game. This is going to be another one. My heart says Fortnite. My head says Apex Legends. Apex Legends has been a real boon for Respawn.
Yeah.
And really for a game that literally was announced when it was released, it's done very well for itself.
Hey, what about PUBG? That's missing.
It
Yeah.
is missing, and apparently there's still quite a few people playing it.
Yeah.
Dan says his butt says No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
All right, so
I mean, I think No Man's Sky should get it. I mean, remember how that game started?
yep. Remember how we
Same thing
thought,
as Sea of Thieves. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
look where it is right now. It's like,
we
Yeah,
thought
No
Halo
Man's Sky was there last year too. Who
It
got it
was.
last year? Was it Rainbow?
I don't remember.
Fortnite.
Did Fortnite get it last year? Probably. I mean, to be honest, we thought Hello Games was going to fold.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Chris, what do you think?
It's going to be a Microsoft Studios.
I'm gonna go with Destiny 2.
Yeah,
Just constantly you see the traction that game gets. You got the new DLC. They're already out, right? The new DLC with the story, new story.
I thought it came out. I thought it came out in December, but I might be wrong.
I know something came out recently as soon as the consoles dropped.
Yeah, something. And
Yeah.
plus now that it's in Game Pass, yeah,
I mean,
it's a toss up. That or No Man's Sky, because they've done a good job too, updating it for the new gen.
Yeah, added VR to it, or PSVR and stuff.
I think Sea of Thieves not. I mean, I agree.
Yeah,
with
Sea of
Dan.
Thieves should
Sea of Thieves not
definitely be
being on here,
It's-
and not just that. I mean, they're talking about next year being the biggest. I mean, Rare has said outright, 2021 will be the biggest year yet for Sea of Thieves with content.
well, then I
mean-
expect them to be on this list next year.
Yeah, and there's still a ton of people playing Sea of
Mhm.
Thieves.
I need to get back in there, get my legendary.
Almost every day that I go on my Xbox, I see somebody on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
So, and I'll
I
tell
can
you,
look right now and I will see 3 people on Sea of Thieves.
yep,
I know.
and I'll tell
Crazy
you,
One and Nate.
yep,
That's even 4. Yeah, exactly. Nate and
and
Super
yeah,
Solo,
opens-
Crazy
yep.
One.
and Open Sorcerer and
Sorcerer and Demon.
and Jack's on there a lot. And I'll tell you, that's a game where the Series X enhancement
Oh yeah.
makes that game better. Makes that game better. That 4K 60
Yeah.
makes me want to play it.
And just
drunk
loading
in-
in, you know,
Yes.
you die and you respawn, and it's like,
yes. Getting drunk in 60 frames per second is hilarious. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So.
HR
Alright.
Bomber brought up biggest year with the most delays, so there should have been a category for
You're right.
delayed game of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment.
It was definitely
Yes.
Cyberpunk
Alright.
probably win that one.
Dread, what you got?
Star Wars. No. No. With the drop that they just had going into Game Pass and all that, it's got to be Destiny. As much as
Solid pick.
Fortnite is still popular, I still see Destiny being a little bit more popular now. It's picked up speed again. They seem to be doing everything right again, and their new textures are coming out. So I see Destiny being the one.
Nah.
Call of Duty, they're a good contender.
Yeah. No, I it's a solid pick. Solid pick. All right.
my heart says No Man's Sky, but my brain will say Destiny too.
Let's see. Best game debut. And here's one where a couple of your games, Chris, are in here. So Carrion, Mortal Shell, Raji, Roki, and Phasmophobia. And I've seen a ton of people play Phasmophobia, by the way.
My brother,
I don't know anything about it, but I've heard a ton of
my
people
brother's been
playing
talking
it.
about that.
So, I've got to not have played Raji. Although I watched you play it, Chris.
Yeah.
That game looks really, really cool. I gotta say Carrion though. Carrion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Bomber-
anything about Phasmophobia.
Bomber says Phasmophobia should get it. What do you got, Chris?
I'm gonna go with Carrion because since I played that all the way through. But Raji's definitely a second. Just beautiful game. But I think that studio is also new from India, so up and coming hopefully.
Nice. Okay. Peter?
I'm gonna say Carrion. I have not played it myself, but I've seen enough to make the decision. I watched you
think
play
that's-
Raji, and it's like, yeah, that's a good second. Probably.
Now that I've done Star Wars, Carrion might be my next one. I'm gonna play some Dirt 5, but Carrion might be the next game I run all the way through. All right, Dread.
Well, as the song goes, carry on my wayward son.
Ice.
So,
All right,
that's an easy one.
Yeah. Best strategy game. Best sim strategy. This is one where yeah.
Wow.
This is a
Best,
good, strong category.
Sim and then strategy. It's
I know.
like,
Yeah.
the heck.
I don't know, and I haven't played
Why
it yet.
mix of both.
But
I'm gonna
just-
say Flight Sim.
I was gonna say, based on everything I have seen, I don't know how Flight Sim doesn't. And by the way, when is the Series X version of Flight Sim coming?
Next year.
That
Once
sucks.
they
See this-
start utilizing DirectX 12,
that should have been. See,
then
Did-
it will be on the. I mean, they should have used it. I don't know why they didn't
should have
use
been
it
at
to
launch.
begin with, but
it should have been at launch. They should have launched with this. That to me.
I mean, I would definitely make a statement.
yeah, you're right.
I mean, look at it with the,
I want to play this game so bad.
yeah.
It definitely
You need to
would've
get a
been big
fight
if they-
stick though.
Yeah, if they had it ready.
Yeah.
It's definitely. But yeah, just the technology and stuff,
Yeah.
from from having the maps to, as well as the weather, the clouds, and all the other stuff. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I think I don't know. I think Flight Simulator, they really need to take their time to make sure that thing is optimized to play on the Series X and S, because you already see all these criticisms that the third parties get in for not being ready. You imagine if they had that at launch and had some issues. Yeah, no, they need to get that ready. Hearing from people with PCs, like they just, yeah. Even if they have a good PC, it's like, it's a lot.
HR Bomber is why is Flight Sim the only sim in this category?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
That is true.
But I know why, because otherwise there would be like one game in this whole sim category. And the winner is Flight Sim. Oh, surprise!
A Pack from the Dead. Well, but this is another one too, where they combine things that are it's dumb to combine things.
Yeah.
So
there's enough games out there that you can separate this stuff.
I think so. So and it's funny.
But then once again, you can put Madden in here because it's kind of like a simulator too.
Right. Right. You could. Right. So Wasteland 3 should be in here. It's a strategy game. Ponks. So Back from the Dead says Gears Tactics. He says that's great. Pong Soul says talk to PC guys and Crusader Kings takes this all day long. Dan says Wasteland 3 should be in here.
Mm-hmm.
Sports Sim, Football Manager.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
They could have made their own category with that.
So, all right. So Dread.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Sim. Journey to Batu.
All right.
But it's not on there. So yet again, Star Wars gets shafted.
Star Wars gets shafted.
Yeah. No, but I will go with Flight Simulator. I mean, when it comes to tactics and strategy, I mean, I might have to go with Gears Tactics. I mean, XCOM is one of the the ones that pretty much are synonymous for this stuff.
Didn't we get a new train sim too? Like, one of the TSW train sims. So they could have added that in a sim category.
Yep.
Or like the trucker, from Sudoku or whatever it is.
Yeah, Train Simulator 2020.
Yeah.
Or was it the Farming Simulator?
Farming Simulator. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
But Train Simulator 2020. I mean, I've seen videos of that. That is it's awesome looking. My son wants to play that so bad. Hell, Tracks, the wooden train simulator.
Yeah.
Masugo, so far Jedi Fallen Order was nominated for Action Adventure, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm going to go with Flight Sim because I want to fly through the hurricanes as they go over my head.
Yeah.
In real life. As long as I still have power.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is right.
But you can fly through it before it hits. It's like, oh, trouble now.
Yeah.
All right, best multiplayer. So this is
Animal Crossing is a horrible multiplayer.
Yeah,
so,
that's a stupid way to do it.
So I'm gonna go with one that I don't think that again came out of nowhere, and I'm very the breadth of people who are playing it. I'm going with Among Us. My 6-year-old is playing it. I don't want him to play it, but my kids are playing that game.
Yeah.
There are more people playing Among Us than I mean, we have like virtual happy hours at work, and my coworkers are playing this game during virtual happy hour. I mean, while Fall Guys came fast, it was still kind of shoehorned. It was still stuck just PC and PS4.
PS4, yeah.
But Among Us can be played on mobile. Can be played on a toaster. I mean, it's crazy how many people are playing that game. So I'm going with Among Us.
Tetris Connect. Where the heck is it?
Oh my God! Yes. What a game. I'm ready to play that with any of you guys, by the way.
Did Fall Guys on PC? Did they finally resolve that name, showing people's names?
I don't know. I need to jump back on there.
If not, then it shouldn't be even in here.
Right.
I mean, that's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Where's Roblox? Shouldn't Roblox have been on best
Strategy.
ongoing? Because
Well, Minecraft
goodness.
would be too. In that case.
Oh yeah, what about
Minecraft
the
should have
Minecraft
been on.
one?
Yeah.
No.
The dungeons.
I would say right now, because what's trending right now, big time, is Among Us. But I had a lot of fun with Fall Guys, so I haven't played Among Us.
And
Yeah.
the three are the basically the best ones that belong in here. You know what I mean? The two on the outside, I don't know why they're even here. But you get the
Animal
three on the
Crossing.
inside.
What's the really multiplayer? You're just trading your,
Did you
picking
go
up
on
your
each other's islands?
whatever
and-
those
Because
potatoes. There's
When you
turnips.
log in it under your daughter's account,
Yeah.
that's the multiplayer. You got to
That's
play
the
twice
multiplayer.
with yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I had fun with Among Us. I still feel like Fall Guys, even though it's a good multiplayer, I still feel like it could feel like a single player. You know what I mean? Whereas Among Us, you can work as a team in a sense, even though you're working separately.
Yeah.
And Warzone is definitely a team. You know what I mean? So I look at multiplayer as teams against everybody. You know what I mean? Or one against everybody. So that's why Fall Guys is kind of like one of those. It's a good spot.
What's funny is my daughter is playing Roblox. You know how Roblox copies everything?
Yes.
So she's been playing Among Us Roblox version.
Yeah.
And she just showed me one for a version of Fall Guys.
The
But
fact that my
they've had those
kids,
modes.
the fact that my kids are outside in the back drawing Among Us characters with sidewalk chalk, that is why I'm picking Among Us.
Yeah.
So let's see, Warzone.
Yeah, I don't know enough. Don't know enough about Among Us. I'm gonna pick Warzone.
Okay. Bomber picks Warzone because people are still playing like crazy. Pong Soul says Animal Crossing loses Game of the Year, so it takes this category. And Back from the Dead says Among Us. So much fun first time I was the killer. I convicted one of my friends' wife to turn against him so I could win. I convinced one of my friends' wife to turn against him so I could win. So.
I was never the killer or the imposter. It's hard to. Each one has
It's a
its
good
own
category.
merit. Yeah, each one has its own merit, but I think overall in popularity, I'm going to go with Call of Duty.
Okay.
So
All right.
flip the coin. I'm waiting for the phone to tell me now. Are you going to answer and tell me?
Come on, Bixby. What's your... All right. We're getting close to the end here. Best community support. This one, I think.
What
This
does
is,
it really mean? Community support.
I guess which one is kind of pulled by the community the most.
Says recognizing the game for outstanding community support, transparency, responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity, and game updates / patches.
So I think Destiny 2 is a no-brainer on this. That Destiny 2 has such a following that, I mean, look at look at COG and that crew. I mean, Destiny 2 has just a huge following.
Destiny 2 has brought quite a few people together, and they end up forming podcasts because of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Apex Legends and Fortnite are just multiplayer games. Like people are streaming those kind of just to stream them to get, people to watch your stream. They're not I don't think either of those games are building community. Fall Guys, again, is just a multiplayer game to me. I don't know anything about Valorant. Destiny 2 has people. I mean, Destiny 2 has squads. I mean, you can, the PvE in that is huge. So I'm going with Destiny 2.
Same.
I'm going with Bungie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bomber says Fortnite. Pong says Fortnite. Finit says Grounded. It's not on here.
Yeah.
Back from the Dead says Destiny 2. You'd be surprised how many times it breaks, and they respond quickly. Infinite said No Man's Sky has had a lot of development based on community suggestions. Yeah. That is true, too. But I don't think the problem there is No Man's Sky doesn't bring people, like you said, Chris, Destiny 2 brings people together, creates a community. Mm-hmm. I don't think No Man's Sky necessarily has a community. I just think they probably have a forum where people go on and put stuff in, and
yeah.
So whereas Destiny 2, The Last Word, there are Destiny 2 podcasts out there that are specific, and
is it crossplay now?
It's
still.
I don't know.
Let's not forget when they were on PlayStation and everything went to hell in a handbasket. They went dead silent. Nobody could get any response out of them, any answers. How's that transparency? Where's that responsiveness? Inclusive of social media does not fit in there.
Yeah. Which game are you talking about?
No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. Right. We thought Hello Games had actually closed.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and just the arrogance.
Yep.
From them, you know what I mean? So it's like it didn't make sense. And why are they still here? Well, how old is this game now? Why are they still here in 2020?
Don't know. And by the way, Monkey Punch says Fall Guys. That's his pick.
Yeah.
So. All right, so I think we're unanimous on Destiny 2 there.
Yeah.
Well, if they had Star Wars Squadron, I would have said that, but I can't.
Best role-playing game. Forgot about this.
Mm. Now
this is a pretty packed. Now Bomber says No Man's Sky had the best turnaround of any game, but and I agree. I totally agree with that, but I don't think that makes it community support. That could almost be like comeback game of the year or something like that. But role-playing game. So is Final Fantasy VII a role-playing game or is it an action-adventure type game? I don't remember. I don't know anything about it.
It used to be a role-playing game, but now you can choose the way that you fight. You can go back to the old style, or you do the new style of your interaction with your combat.
Mm.
Yeah, so
it could fall in there.
Pong Soul says Persona should not be on here.
Yeah, not the Royale version though.
Yeah, because isn't that just a battle royale type game?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So Wasteland 3 actually is an RPG to me. It's just an overhead RPG.
Yeah.
And I say and I know this because I played it for 10 minutes and then realized it's not my kind of game. So I can't do a lot of turn-based role-playing games anymore. I don't know why. Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I'm hearing good things about that.
I'm hearing it too. Bomber says that's the one that should win. I'll go with that.
Wasteland 3 for me.
Peter?
I don't know. I haven't played any of them. So.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me. You can abstain. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dread?
Jensen Impact. I see that one coming out and squeaking through everything.
Okay.
I've heard some people really
I've been
liking
told
that
to
too.
play this game many times.
Masuko says Yakuza is crazy fun. But this one's turn-based, which...
Well, that's what people were worried, it's turn-based, but...
But then they love it.
They like the way they did it.
All right. Best fighting game. I don't know. So, my gut says Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Bomber says MK11. None of the rest of these look interesting to me. Yeah, this is the easy one.
Yeah.
I mean, I see One Punch having a good following, but I'm still going to go with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the content. I mean, the stuff. Like, did you guys see the movie pack? That's cool. They're bringing the movie characters in. So they're bringing the Christopher Lambert, Raiden, and
yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah. All right, that's an easy one.
Fall Guys should have been there because you had to grab people and throw them off. You were fighting to get to the finish line.
Terrace Kasi should have been in there.
Best family game. Now this is one I'm pretty sure Animal Crossing will probably take. However, I wouldn't sleep
it's
on...
an anti-family game because you need a Switch per player.
You can't even be on together.
It's anti-consumer.
Anti-consumer, anti-family.
Yeah.
So I'm going, but I'm going to buck that trend, even though, again, my head says Animal Crossing because, well, Nintendo needs to win something here, but don't sleep on Minecraft Dungeons. My son Seth and I have had a ton of fun playing that game. And it's Minecraft, which is a great family game to begin with. So,
yep.
Dan says, "Get him, Peter." So that's where I'm going. My head says Animal Crossing for the same reason that Pong Soul says it, because Nintendo. Oh, he says Paper Mario is going to win because Nintendo. I don't know. I don't know about Paper Mario winning this. I think it's I think it's going to be Animal Crossing, but I would love to see Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, I want Minecraft Dungeons to win, but I can see Animal Crossing because when that came out, I was playing not only with both my daughters, my wife's cousins, and her brother. So in the beginning, we were all jumping in there, going at it, visiting each other's islands, and yeah, it was big. And plus the history that I have with Animal Crossing with my family, so
Okay.
see that one winning.
Peter?
I'm going to say Minecraft Dungeons.
Good pick. Dread?
I have no choice but to pick Minecraft Dungeons. I mean, I'm playing with Fork Boy and Ghost, and we're playing. My daughter wants to jump on and play, and I'm like, look, I'm playing with my friends. Fork's streaming, right? And next thing you know, we got a fourth character. We're like looking around, like, what's going on? My daughter figured out how to get on and join the game that we were on. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, come on now. If that's not family,
That's right. When you
She
don't
was
even
able
want to
to
play it
jump
with your
on.
family, and she forces her way on.
right? You know what I mean? And she was still playing, and I was like, look, I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. I made her get off, or so I thought. And then later on, I get a message from Fork saying, sorry, I didn't mean to do it, but I had to kick her off because she wasn't joining into the next dungeon. So I'm like, what? So I had to go through, and I'm like running back here, and I'm like, and she's like, your friends kicked me off. And I was like, oh, I told you to get off of it before. So I'm going through watching the stream from the playback, and and there it was, a good 5 minutes of her playing around on the main I guess hub, and they're like, come on, just all right, sorry, Dread, don't mean to do this, but gotta do it. And but that's the beauty of it. She's been hounding me to play this game ever since I showed it to her, And so this game here is more so. And you would think Mario would have an attraction for her, but
Right.
Minecraft Dungeons, hands down, no problem.
So let's see. Bomber says Minecraft. Back from the Dead says Minecraft. Infinite says Minecraft. Pong Soul says Mario. And Infinite says he was there that day. So, next year, there better be some damn Amico games on this list next year.
That's not
I
going
hope so. I hope
Just
they don't
saying.
get snubbed.
They're going to get snubbed. I'm
They're
sorry.
going to get totally snubbed.
I
But
think so. Yeah.
They're going to be like, that's a $7 game. It's not even worth an indie game.
yeah. All right. I think I got them all. That's worth getting. Because I don't care about best mobile game. Don't care about best esports game. Don't care about best esports athlete. The only other one, nope, I got one more. If anybody, best AR VR. So actually, this is a pretty damn good list. So Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, which is probably gonna win. Marvel's Iron Man VR, which is a damn good game. Star Wars Squadrons, which I have not played, but I think Jago told me that the VR on that is spectacular. And Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. So, because I know how many people thought that Half-Life got snubbed for Game of the Year, I'm picking Half-Life, even though I've never played it. Chris?
I don't know. I haven't. I've only seen Iron Man VR, someone playing. So, and I've heard good things about Half-Life 1. But I'll go with Iron Man.
Okay. It's solid pick.
From what I've
Iron Man's
seen,
good,
yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Peter?
I haven't played any of them, but seeing, I think, Half-Life, Alex.
Yeah. I think everybody is. Yeah. That's a solid pick. Sorry. I don't know why that slipped back to best narrative. I Dread.
I want to say Star Wars, but I can't. As much as I want to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is finally a good category of a good selection of games to be in here. Dreams, I don't see it in here. It's a good game. I love the idea of it and everything. It's just basically Project Spark, but better.
Yep.
So that's obviously got to go. Like I said, as much as I want Squadrons, I have to let it go. It's Walking Dead, Iron Man, and Alex, man. So it's like, from what I've seen, Walking Dead, that was one of the games that wanted to cause me to get VR. It's just that Iron Man, I heard was like phenomenal, and obviously we already know Half-Life Alyx, so I might actually have to double down on Walking Dead.
Okay. All right. That's a good pick. Let's see. Bomber says Half-Life. Pong Soul says Half-Life. Bomber says he knows Dan loves Squadrons, so if Dan was still here, he might be picking Squadrons. Panda says you can make the argument for Dreams since it's limitless and allows users to create a VR experience, but Half-Life probably deserves it. There we go. Here's Dan. Love Squadrons. VR with flight stick for the win. So, and by the way, Panda Subs also said Sackboy should have been on the family game list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one did look good.
Did he meet the cut?
Bomber was right. He said, see? So, all right. That is all of them. We got through the Game Awards of all the stuff that's worth talking about. So.
Oh, you don't want to do the best esports host?
I didn't even get that slide, man. I was lucky to get esports athlete before I realized I really don't care. So
I've looked at them all, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about best influencer, best nonsense. Sorry. So, thank you, Dragonheart, and Yobi's so cool.
Yeah.
Said again, gentlemen, thank you for going live tonight. You guys rock. Now, you know what? You guys, the folks who on a Thursday, on a Thanksgiving Thursday, is sitting there hanging out with us till almost 1 in the morning. It's gonna be one of our longest shows, believe it or not, just to hang out. And yeah, that's
I mean, especially after eating all day.
Yeah, I'm exhausted, man. You guys have seen me yawning all show. I feel bad for it, but I mean, and Bomber's got to work tomorrow, and actually so do I. I've got to work tomorrow. Man, thank you much. Love this channel. Great community. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
thank you,
Candace, we start at 9, so we're typically we're trying not to be on this late. Typically, I try to get us out of here by midnight, but this was great, absolutely great. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and call it a night. I promise I'm not gonna start and stop the closing video.
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
Unless we have breaking news.
Unless we have breaking news. Oh, I got to tell you, man, I've been looking on Twitter and just seeing these pictures of these morons camping out at GameStop, and I got to tell you, like, there's a picture of two dudes. They brought mattresses. I got to get this picture. Hang on, you guys have got to see this. This is
an actual mattress?
Yes. Hold on, I'm grabbing this picture real quick. And you have to see this. This is utterly ridiculous. Podcast images.
I wish Yobi good luck. He said he's gonna go check it out. 6 a.m.
Yeah, good luck, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you get it.
I do too. I'm pulling for him. Yobi's such a cool. Yobi, did you not have a question of the week for us? I totally understand.
Cyber, yes, we're still going.
Hey, yeah, we are. Check this shit out. Check this out.
I know you got people. They're waking up from their tryptophan nap.
right. They took a nap and now they're up.
They're jumping in. We might have to keep going.
They brought mattresses. That dude has his bed out front of GameStop.
You know, those two guys, they're definitely getting something.
They better. All right, next week. All right, Yobi's gonna get us something next week. Seriously, mattresses.
Well, hey,
they're probably pissed off that they keep trying to get one online, can't get through. So
mattresses, though.
Maybe this is a dedicated scalper. Just kidding.
I mean,
how do you even sleep?
Hold on, there's another picture. Oh, you gotta hold on. Oh, hey, you got here. This is what I open. Look at this dude. He's done. He's got a sheet on his mattress. I mean, come on.
And you got how many people behind them in chairs?
Yeah.
They're just like, what?
Hey, if you're gonna sleep, you might as well sleep comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If those two are still asleep when the door's open, it's like you just walk right around.
You just walk right around them. He said his alarm. Yobi said his alarm is set for 6. So that is dedication. I mean, obviously, you always see these guys. Hold on with the tents. You always see them.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I've ever seen mattresses. I mean, that is just insane.
So I wonder, when they get their console, what happens to that mattress? They just walk up. It's here for the next bum. Just move it around the side of the building and let the bum be a little bit comfortable next time.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So anyway, I just had to show you guys that because that's how crazy it is.
I think only one time that I went out for Black Friday, like later on at night after eating Thanksgiving, went to Target, and it wasn't too bad. But other than that, you're not gonna see me in a line.
No.
Trying to,
No. It's ridiculous. All right. Man, 12:45. That is an amazing show, boys.
Yeah.
Dread?
I agree. Dragonheart. I was there for Halo 2 when it.
Oh yeah.
Midnight launch.
Did that one.
Yeah. That I've been to a couple midnight launches.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never camped out for an overnight.
Yeah.
The most I've ever camped out for anything was when they re-released the original Star Wars trilogy, and there was a theater that it was the only theater in Baltimore that had the actual digital cut of it, and we camped out all day to get tickets. That's the only time I've ever done. I've never done it for a video game. Yeah. I've done midnight, but I've never done it like an overnight. Brought my mattress to sleep in front of the store. So, good luck to them, and good luck to them. So, and good luck to anybody who's out there trying to get one. I hope that you truly do. So, Yobi, seriously, man, I truly hope that you get one.
Yeah.
And if you do, we want to hear about it. And we will sing that praise next week if you do. So, but Dread, man, always a pleasure.
Oh, I always have fun, man.
Yeah, you really do, man. You make you. I've enjoyed the two. This is the double header with you. So, and we've enjoyed it. I have to say, and. You're welcome anytime.
Yes.
So,
I knew that today I was off. I didn't even think about it, last month when I said something that it was going to be, on today. I was just like, next Thursday. I completely forgot, even though I knew why I was off. But whatever. But we have fun, and at least the last 48 minutes that we've been on here wasn't post game.
No, it was not. I can't do a post game tonight. But and the chat bomber and those guys have been they gave us their picks too, so everything's been good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Always good to have a fellow beard in chat.
Panda says I'm waiting in line to get a Stadia.
Yeah.
I can't emphasize the sheer sarcasm.
Yeah.
So.
Or even a Luna. I haven't heard much of Luna lately either.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think Amazon's going to be smart about that, and they're not going to talk about that until it's time, which I think is the right move.
Hey, Panda, I'll sell you mine so you don't have to wait. Collector's edition.
Day one edition. So chat room, thank you guys so much. 12:49 a.m. on the East Coast, and we still got a bunch of people in there. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. Panda sub. Like I said, we start at 9, so hopefully you come back and check us out from the beginning. And thank you to everybody who's been hanging out all night.
Yeah.
And
Masuko, first time here.
Yes, welcome Masuko. Hope you'll join us next week too. We'll be back for another fun time. And Infinite, glad you woke up. Yes.
Yeah. And anybody else that woke
line up
up
for Anthem too.
Hey, now it's time. I'm already worn. My tryptophan's worn off. I'm ready for seconds. Let's go.
Yeah, you do that. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm off tomorrow.
Some of us were stupid enough to be up till 3:30 in the morning with Husk. So I don't know if I could do that again. So anyway, everybody, hey, thank you guys so much, and Chris, Peter, another great show in the books.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Glad to be back.
222. Can you believe it? 222
Wow.
shows in. So, anyway. So, everybody, hey, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, for some of you, it's an extended weekend, like Chris. You're not working over the weekend, are you?
Hopefully not.
All right.
Hopefully I don't have to go back till Monday, so hopefully I'll get Watch Dogs done by then.
Peter, you off
Nice.
tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow, but the family wants to go to Six Flags, and
Is Six Flags open?
apparently,
They are here.
50%, 25%?
I don't know. You have to make reservations. So.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine you guys will be able to ride some stuff together. To ride some stuff without some big lines.
Right.
So
Always nice.
Dread, you're on another show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, with Fun Speculation.
Yeah.
He actually has two of my other brothers on there too with us. That's
Nice.
Husk and Italian Clowns.
Clowns is another one starting to get around, man.
He's been getting around.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I feel bad enough just last night and tonight with my poor wife.
Hey, have we had clowns on?
Have we had clowns on?
I don't know.
I think we have, but it's been a while.
I
It
think
has
you
been a
should.
while if we had.
Yeah, it should.
You should refresh it.
I know we've had Inferno. I don't know if we've had Clown. I've got to go back and look, but Clowns is welcome anytime. Any of the
Our
gaming,
GOG brothers.
yeah, all of them, and any of the Beyond the Box folks. I can't say guys because Lady AF. So
Yeah.
but she's welcome on here too. Any of them are welcome. Yeah, so tomorrow night is PM in the PM with Open Every Box Pete and Michael Garvey at 8:00. But after that, 9:00 is when Mav's show comes on, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll be checking that.
Shout out to Fun Speculation.
Yeah,
I saw their
good
first
guy.
one. That was a good one before I went on vacation. So
Yeah, so I'll be checking that out. So,
Was he on Breaking? Was he on your show Breaking Breaking Bread or not?
Italian Clowns was.
Okay.
Not
He's actually the most recent one. I do have another one that I just got done recording earlier this week. I have not processed it yet, so I still got to work it over and be able to upload it.
Right.
But Italian Clowns is the most recent one, which is episode 7.
And that link is in the description below, by the way, to Breaking Bread with Dread on Anchor FM. And where else can they find you, Dread? Want to make
Obviously, Twitter at Dreadp00l. The O's are actually zeros. YouTube gamertag. And as you can tell, I still have the Stadia. Dreadp00l, all letters, all caps. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., find me at Gaming Beyond the Box with my brothers and sister. Breakfast with Boom Friday mornings, except for tomorrow because we already did ours yesterday. Boom wanted to at least enjoy a day off. And then with Four Guys with Quarters, I assist Clowns with his interviews when we do that. And then, as you said, tomorrow with Fun Speculation at 9. So, just a reminder to everybody. My DMs are open anytime you guys have any questions about anything, or if you just need to talk to somebody. I might not be able to give you the answers you're looking for, but at least I can be an ear. So I could be that stranger that you could just talk to. So, with these holidays coming up, it's hard times for a lot of people, bad memories, whatever. Just reach out. I'll listen.
You're a good man, Dread. You're a good man.
yeah. Appreciate you and the beard.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you. My bearded brother.
All right. Let me get you guys out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. Don't forget to support the Gamers United Guild. And I'll be back on Sunday night. I keep forgetting about that. Possibly Sunday night. We keep moving Amico All Access, so it's getting earlier and earlier in the night. So it's getting to where I may not be able to do it as much. But if I am, it'll be Sunday night. Then TXR Sunday night at 8 or at 9 rather. And then Four Guys with Quarters on Tuesday. Retro Renegades on Tuesday night. And then we'll be back next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another NLG show with the crew.
And then you got VG4G. They're back. New website.
Oh, are they? Oh, good.
Plenty of articles on Twitter. Keep an eye out on Twitter. VG4G. And the Indie Gamer. We're going to have a show, Indie Game Show, December 3rd.
Right, so it's not...
Saturday?
No, that would be the 5th.
Okay, the 5th. And he's also decided he wants to do more than just 1 month show, so he's brought in Pugsley and VJ, and he's going to have every other Saturday, he'll have them on, and they will start December 19th. And I think me and Coop will be on there with them that first one. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all of our Gamers United Guild brethren. And all the links are below to all their channels and stuff. And like I said, Breaking Bread with Dreads, Anchor FM channel is in the description below. So please go check that out. And yeah.
And it has the links to Spotify, Apple, iTunes, the Google Podcasts, Radio Public. So, you could listen to it at one of the other platforms if you don't like Anchor. But at least Anchor will give you that link to go right to those areas.
Gotcha. All right. All right, good night, everybody, and we'll see you very soon. Play on, gamers.
All right, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good weekend.